Hulk.
Oh, I thought the Beast had wandered off.
You're missing the point. There's no throne. There is no version of this where you come out on top.
Let me infiltrate the beat, concentrate the heat. If you ain't on my level, fuck it, let me be. I'll be going till it's all in motion, talking killing rappers. Then I hit my quota, and my train of thought is more a locomotive. Talking reason for it, I got locomotives. Used to be on a revenge tip, on a stun on my ex and a friend's tip. I was Spider-Man whipping the black suit. I was powerful but almost lost Luke. Blurring the line between human and artist. Try not to change, but I swear it's the hardest. I swear when you're up, they turn you to a target. Home was a trip, all I did when I'm talking. So, what it take to be an icon? All in your desktop, so I just might already be one. Might me with the label, it feels on the table one sign, but I'm down for a free lunch. Just speaking my heat-seeking missiles of hits, but other than me, I see no heat exist. Yo, gassed up, I'm about to go green. Go green, go green. Hulk smash if she know me. Know me, know me. Write it to life like I'm Stan Lee. Stan Lee, Stan Lee. If life's about to be a cold war, I'm the hero that they asked for. Green, green, green. I'm about to go, I'm about to go. Green, green, green. I'm about to go, I'm about to go. Green, green, green. I'm about to go, I'm about to go green. Get the fuck back, I'm about to go green. I might begin making a feature Iraq. Cause when I hit your beat, I turn shit to Iraq. Dropping bombs like I'm cursing you out. This your house, then I'm kicking you out. Quiet as a mouse, came in the game, not a word is out that I've been lighting the flame. Shit is potent, don't you know it? I've been flowing steady, growing till they know the name. Saw it ahead of time, knew that I'd get to my losing myself in the view to some window pane. I swear I'm all about peace, I'm a positive person. Wasn't always like that, you know it took me some learning. They asked me how I push a positive light, how I keep my composure through internal fights when addressing the mic through these dark nights. Where the Bruce Wayne, what a trick me. Here's some truth that I'll let free, Bruce Banner of rap if you ask me. When my will to win and the track meet, the secret is I'm always angry. Yo, gassed up, I'm about to go green. Go green, go green. Hulk smash if she know me. Know me, know me. Write it to life like I'm Stan Lee. Stan Lee, Stan Lee. If life's about to be a cold war, I'm the hero that they asked for. Green, green, green. I'm about to go, I'm about to go green. I'm about to go, I'm about to go green. I'm about to go, I'm about to go green. Get the fuck back, I'm about to go green.
Yeah, man, the world needs better laws. Maybe then we'll be better off. I'm hoping that it comes, but it never does. I just wanna be the man my dad never was. Hear my music, it's all soul. Just got new grills and they all go. So I got that beef with the po-po. They don't like my style, no, no, no. I don't really give a damn, I keep steering. Switch gears and the fans just keep cheering. No interceptions, no interference. I'm on an A-team, no Ed Sheeran. I'm headed for the stage now, they clearing all the bad women in the building. Man, there's bad women in the building. Let's get it started tonight. This one's on me, let's go downtown tonight. One shot, two shots, I don't really know if I'm counting right. We drink it down so we can live it up. Why? Cause you never know what tomorrow brings in this crazy life. Hey, this life, this life, this life, this life. Hey. And I'm thankful, even when they say I'm crazy for living. Oh yeah, this baby. Life, this life, this life. That's all I got. This life. Hey. So let's drink all I got, yo. Everything that we've been through. Yo, ain't nobody shutting it down the way I'm killing it. And anybody talking shit, acting like they innocent. Well, I just wanna be the one to let you know it's sentiment. I'm kissing on your girl and a lip gloss cinnamon. I love it. You set the bar, I'm above it. Backing down, I never does it. Plus I'm buzzing. You got one, I got a dozen. If she's taken, I hope she got a cousin. Cause she's hotter than the Arizona landscape. Guess I better do the things that a man can't. I'm a chef and that dude is a pancake. We can keep it a secret just like a handshake. Shit, life ain't free, but alright, let's see what the world brings you. With a guy like me, we could dive head first, baby, I'm an OG. It'll be all good, just fly with me tonight. This one's on me, let's go downtown tonight. One shot, two shots, I don't really know if I'm counting right. We drink it down so we can live it up. Why? Cause you never know what tomorrow brings in this crazy life. Hey, this life, this life, this life, this life. Hey. And I'm thankful, even when they say I'm crazy for living this life, this life, this life, this life. Hey. So let's drink to everything that we've been through. It's summertime. It's summertime. This one's on me, let's go downtown tonight. One shot, two shots, I don't really know if I'm counting right. we drink it down so we can live it up. Why? Cause you never know what tomorrow brings in this crazy life. Hey, this life, this life, this life, this life. Hey, and I'm thankful, even when they say I'm crazy for living this life, this life, this life, this life. Hey, so let's drink to everything that we've been through.
I know I may have changed. I may have lost my way. But every song I've made, yeah, was the blueprint to how I overcame. Was the blueprint to how I overcame. Was the blueprint to how I overcame. Was the blueprint to how I overcame.
Yeah, I've wanted a lot of things that I couldn't have. I've done a lot of things that I shouldn't have. Yeah. But I live with no regrets, cause I wouldn't be here if I chose a different path. I've worked so hard, I've worked so thorough. I love my team, I wouldn't trade them for the whole world. But I would trade these groupie bitches in a heartbeat if there was a chance that I could ever have my old girl. My first love, man, I can't believe I lost her. Due to miscellaneous bitches all on my roster. So my advice to all my homies out there, with a woman that really cares, don't fuck around, it might cost you. Yeah, but like I said, man, it's no regrets. We move forward, stay positive and hope for the best. I'm obsessed, I want it all, dog, and nothing less. I'd rather be a dead man than to live with no success. So I spit it from deep in my chest. All of these inner feelings used to just keep them suppressed. Then I wondered why the fuck I would be so depressed. And I realized that I really just need to confess. So when you hear me on a record, it's the real me. I only do it for the people that can feel me. And if you wanna hate, then go ahead and feel free. But I'ma continue to do this shit until it kills me. I've been lost, I've been found, I've been up, I've been down. I've been broken, I've been bruised, beaten and abused by a bitch ass motherfucker my mama would choose. So before you judge me, be sure that you walk in my shoes. I used to sleep out on the streets with a couple sheets. Feeling weak, I've gone weeks with nothing to eat. But fast forward, just a couple years more, me and my team about to do a nationwide tour. In a second I will find that out.
Hello everybody and welcome to another pre-game interview here on Valence League. We're in Division 1 this time with Deja Vu versus 7 Deadly Sins Senior. And I'm joined by Deja Vu's mid laner, Wakana Chewy, the big playoff buff himself. How's it going, man?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm not doing too bad. Right,
Nice.
let's just jump right into it because we've got Champ Select to get to.
Yep.
Who's on your roster? Who we got playing today?
So we got Mr. Arbush in the top lane, Z-Man jungle, obviously myself mid, Viking ADC, and Stronger in support.
Fair play. Strong roster, really strong roster.
Yeah.
How things have been going leading up to this point? How scrims?
So, well, scrims be a bit hit and miss, I think. Obviously no leaks, but
Yeah, well, yeah, of course.
we've definitely had some tough scrims recently. We're still trying to find, I think, what works best for us in terms of, shot calling and draft, especially like what champs work well in our team dynamic. But I think we're definitely getting to the point where we're starting to feel more comfortable in our own gameplay. So yeah, we're getting there.
All right, fair play. I mean, obviously it's to be expected. I would assume that you guys were doing quite well. It's a really fucking strong roster. Like I would say definitely top 3 in your division. So fingers
I hope
crossed.
so. Yeah.
Things go well. But where do you place yourselves? Where do you see yourselves this split?
Well, so far we've been doing quite well, I think. So I definitely would put us in the top half of the teams. But we're still to play teams like 7 Deadly Sins Senior, who on paper look really good. I know they've had some quite shaky games recently. And then we got Horizon Shadow as well. They're pretty strong roster, and obviously Vengeance or Centurion,
yeah,
however you want to call them.
Centurion.
But they're definitely the top teams.
Yeah.
Yeah. So against those teams, I think they're going to be our much harder opponents. But I think tonight will be a good staple just to see how we can do against these on paper, good on paper rosters.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, in my mind at least, it's you, Seven Deadly Sins Senior, and Vengeance. So I think tonight will definitely be a good kind of look at how potentially a playoff bracket could shape up to be. So it's definitely going to be an
For sure.
interesting game. Have you scrimmed Seven Deadly Sins Senior? Have you prepped for them at all?
We haven't actually scrimmed them. We have got some prep for them, and I know Freezy isn't on their team anymore, so I think we're not too sure what Rock is going to be playing. But yeah, we haven't scrimmed them, so we're kind of going into playing them blind, I guess, other than from their streamed games or who they've been playing. So
Yeah,
that's
of
what we're going to
course.
go off.
I mean, at least it means that they've not scrimmed you either, so you're both kind of at the same disadvantage there. But it's definitely going to be an exciting game. Got a prediction for me?
I mean, we're obviously going to take it. Come on.
2-0, 2-1. What do you think?
I want to be confident and say 2-0, but realistically, I'll go with a 2-1.
Okay, right, yeah,
Plus.
fair play. Well, I'm very much looking forward to watching the game. Best of luck to you, mate.
Thank you.
We'll head into Champ Select. Thanks very much.
Cheers.
Said I stand real shit, motherfucker, so I stood real quick.
Na. It is time for Val's League. My name is Stanley Greatheart Barker. I am joined by the magnificent, the wonderful, the effervescent Alex Nightmare Hapgood.
There were so many words in such a short space of time which I just didn't understand there, Stan. Luckily, what I do understand is apparently League of Legends. We have some from Division 1 of the Valence League today. It is Deja Vu versus Seven Deadly Sins Senior. So many words that even I can't say them right.
Yep, you making mistakes with team names. It's like deja vu all over again before we even get into Champ Select. But coming into this one, it's a top of the table clash, and it's Division 1. 2 games in. Both of these teams are looking great. Deja Vu having picked up their 2 wins and their best of 3 series in only 5 games, dropping the 1 game so far. Seven Deadly Sins have made slightly harder work of it, having had 2 2-1s.
And I'm gonna let you in a little secret here, Stan. We're not seeing Lilia today. Arbush pulled that out on stream actually when I was casting last time, and told the enemy team a new one. This guy's found ways to make this pick really work somehow. He top diffed that last series, did end up being a 2-1, and actually lost that Lilia game, but he himself looked very good on it.
Well, you never know. It might get through the pick and ban phase, and if we're able to see that, that could be great. It'd be my first opportunity to cast it in competitive as it was banned for the tournament.
Are you looking forward to calling that W? Is that the main thing?
I have made a promise to a fellow caster that I will never say its name on stream, so there you go.
So I saw another caster pair do this, and we could, what you could say is, watch out, and then I say the eep. You know, we do make it as a duo thing. I think that'd be good for us as a duo. I think it would increase our synergy in a lot of ways.
Alternatively, go to hell. Moving on, we're going to be bringing him to Champ Select just as soon as we're able to with these 2 teams. In the meantime, however, you've given us that expectation of seeing Lilia banned away. What are you expecting to potentially see coming in? Of course, we are playing on the live patch, which is 10.16.
Probably going to see some of that Caitlyn. That's a pretty strong pick right now, and most AD carries can pick that up relatively quickly. She is the quintessential right-click champion, stay in the backline, team fight, also with a very, very strong laning phase. Speaking of what we're going to see, we're going to have it right in front of us very soon, because we're into pick and ban.
And speaking of people in front of us, Arbush there, he is, of course, a top laner for this team. He's also someone who removed me as a friend on League of Legends, so I'm going to be cheering for the other team.
Oh, I've still got your League of Legends stand. Does that make things any better for you?
Not even a little bit. Worse, if anything. We've got the Kled already banned away.
We do. And Lilia in response. So that will be towards that top lane. Arbrush, as we said, is the Lilia player on Deja Vu. They have themselves some really nice stats coming into this week. But I think what they were saying at the end of their last series, when we caught up with them in the interview, is that Vengeance are looking very strong in Division 1. These two teams are looking to have a very strong start, both coming in at 2-0. Slightly different on the game score, of course. There's +2 for 7 Deadly Sins, +3 for Deja Vu. But both these teams will be looking to make a statement to the other teams in their group.
We are seeing the Caitlyn taken off of Sean. We've got one more ban before we see the final ban coming in. And as if targeted purely towards yourself, Alex, the man who I happen to know is ordering a chair with Ari tails on it. The Ari is removed from the gameplay.
Yes, I have indeed paid £350 to sit on Ari. And
That's
moving on.
I'm out. See you later, guys. Have fun with just a color caster for this one.
Hooray! And Stan, no, Sam, why are you here?
I came to deliver you coffee. I find out you're cheating on me with Stanley Greyheart Barker. And I find you're buying an Ari chair as well. Your degeneracy knows nowhere.
I need to leave. Today I have not just lost my co-caster in Stanley Greyheart Barker. I've also lost my brother too, and I'm much happier for it. Okay, bans are done. Carry on.
Yumi and Volibear taken off the table. Now we're going to have to look at where the priority is going towards. Of course, we've kind of got out of the meta where we used to just see jungle and sup and ADC picked up straight away in the top 3. A lot of priority being put towards the stronger mid laners and top laners. With that being said, however, it does look like Z-Man Jr. is going to be getting his hands on the Trundle.
And Z-Man had a bit of a difficult time in their last series, so this could just be saying, look, this is someone we've practiced which does well into pretty much everything that you guys play, and Trundle is a very jack-of-all-trades champion, works in most compositions too. When you're on blue side, normally try and go for a power pick. This is kind of edging towards that jack-of-all-trades, not showing your hand, though.
That's very, very true. However, showing your hand a little bit more, Sean is going to get the Ezreal with the Caitlyn already banned away, making sure your ADC is comfortable and playing a very, very safe champion. Always a good place to start.
And Ezreal, yeah, only suffers to Caitlyn, thinking about it. Only really suffers to Caitlyn in that laning phase. Jhin can be okay. Kalista is actually the Ezreal counter in a lot of ways too, but that one's very hard to play at this level of play because it requires so much coordination. It's been locked in alongside that Bard, so now that level 1 0 lane from 7 Deadly Sins, very potent.
So talk me through this one. I asked a fellow caster recently, why are we seeing more and more of Bard in competitive, especially in the LCS, a little bit in the LEC as well? The answer I got given by that caster was, well, we are. Couldn't you do any better than that?
Bard offers well, first off, his numbers are very high. That's a big thing. He does a lot of damage for a support. If he roams into a 2v1 situation, he will put out 400, 500 damage if he's collected enough trimes, and of course lands the Q as well. So that slap does a lot. Then his ult is a very long engaged pick range ultimate, and when there are so many control mages without escapes in the meta, that is invaluable. You pair that up with something like an Ashe or a Leona or a Varus on the other side, as we see locked in. You have so much engage options. The enemy team have to pay attention and pay respect to so many different tools. It's very hard to deal with.
Well, I said we were out of the meta of picking your jungler, the ADC, and the sup, and then both of the teams do this to me. Let's start talking about what top and mid lane bans we're seeing in phase 2.
Good chance we're going to go see a Victor ban or something targeted towards Ricardo Chui. That Ari ban already. And Stan, I got to say something. I think there is actually a conflict of interest because a couple of days ago, a lot of people messaged me randomly from Balance League saying, hey, teach me some Ari tips. Ricardo Chui was one of those people. And I'm not saying that's wrong, but what I am saying is message me more and come watch my stream. Give me your subscribes.
Great, dude. Hecarim being banned away here. Either this is targeted towards Arbush, or maybe there is the thought process that maybe this Trundle could be going to the top lane.
There is that possibility. It depends on the matchup. Trundle's base stats for a top laner are very weak now, and he's been hit by a lot of nerfs on his W and on his E at their lowest ranks, which means that in the top lane when you have to, well, you always max your Q anyway.
It's basically AD Lilia, right? Maybe that's the concern.
I mean, he runs at you and is annoying and does some things in team fights. Yeah, it's exactly the same champion, right?
Meanwhile, Aatrox banned away from yourself. Not yourself, but yourself V2.
Who are you? I'm yourself, but better.
Please don't ever have a yourself V2. To clarify, yourself V2, not yourself V2.
Good. Yeah, sorry. I was very confused for a second, and now everything is clear.
And speaking of banning mid laners people like to play, there goes my favourite ARAM champion. Lissandra has been removed from the
you moderately skilled at Lissandra? Have a free ARAM win.
I will tell you that I'm not, but I still have many free ARAM wins. We've got one last ban to come through. We'll see if Rock actually has any of his champion pool pinched at all with this final ban. Of course, we're going to see the first pick of this next rotation coming out of your red side team. This is where we start looking at 7 Deadly Sins and going, right, what are you showing us? Top lane or mid lane? Where are you most highly prioritizing that counter pick?
And what are they leaving up for contention too? You could lock in something a little bit more flexible. Oh, wait, yeah, it's Division 1. We're going to have an Orianna.
I love that you had like some excitement to that, and then you were just like,
no, what are they going to hide? No, I mean, in fairness, Orianna works into most compositions and is very strong in the lane, has a lot of high numbers, and can go various builds too. Ludens, Seraphs, GLP, you can do it all, and you can flex yourself around in that regard too. Locked in for Rock, Riccardo will have to come up with something which can deal with that, or at least have some value alongside that Orianna scaling later into the game. Ooh, that'd be interesting.
A long old hover there, the Yasuo, almost playing into some of what we're seeing in Twitch chat, but in the end, it is the Syndra that's locked in to counterpick into this Orianna. Meanwhile, this Thresh hover, if it goes through, we're in for one hell of a combo, but I can't quite see it happening.
Leona top lane? I guess that'd be what it is. Okay, right.
I will point out, I have played a game of Leona top lane.
How'd that go, Stan?
It was not by choice. It was a complete set of mistakes that led to it in a Clash game. Frankly, it did not go well.
Well, luckily, we don't have to deal with that. There's a Camille locked in. And that actually explains the Fiora ban. Leaves open something like Jax. I don't know whether yourself has got that on the cards. Or
no, I can't play Jax, no.
Oh. This is going to be a whole game of this. This could be a whole series of this, isn't it? I really hope it's only 2 games at that rate.
You know what? I'm hoping for 3. It's great to be backcasting something like Val's League. It's obviously a long time since I cussed some of the players that are on display here. Right? Yeah, I was back in the old days of Compete League. Some people say I was part of the death of Compete League, so I wish VL the best of luck.
I wouldn't say I hadn't heard that before, but I wasn't going to bring it up of my own volition. But yeah, so Stan killed Compete League, guys. Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Oh my word. That was back in the days of Grey Heart to Heart. That's a talk show that needs to come back. Roughly never. Meanwhile, the Darius was the final pickup. That's going to go into the Camille. I'm looking towards these junglers now. I want to see them impacting that top lane in a big way.
I am, but if you leave a Varus Leona against this 2v2 at level 6, the Ezreal and the Bard straight up die. Really, really difficult to survive there. I think that the Jarvan has much more of an ability to gank that bottom lane than the Trundle has to gank the Ezreal Bard. You can actually you can tunnel through the Trundle pillar if he comes in at that angle. And of course, the Magical Journey allows you to do a great many things on that Bard support. So, of course, big split pushes in the top lane, but a lot of kill pressure down bot lane to make sure the map is fairly balanced from Deja Vu.
Until the Darius came in, it felt like there was quite a standard team fighting composition that had been drafted by 7 Deadly Sins Senior. Obviously, the Jarvan's something that's somewhat out of meta at the moment. However, you know, there's an opportunity for Ignuta to make it work. You know, it's one of those champions that will essentially always be relevant, even if it hasn't got the highest power picks. But the Darius makes me wonder about how these late game team fights are going down. Is it just going to make them even stronger still?
Well, Darius is a run-at-you champion, and if you're running towards the enemy team with a Trundle ult running on you and all 3 ultimates from the bot side of the map available too, the Darius just gets deleted. I think this is more comfort. I think it's for the matchup. I was talking about maybe if Jax comes in. Darius is a very strong 1v1 champion. No one is disagreeing with that. I think that if the Darius gets ahead, it's more important, not necessarily for the team fights, but for the side lanes, because Camille, that's kind of her MO.
Okay, so coming into this first game of the best of 3 series, gut instinct on who's picking up the win?
Gut instinct and who's picking up the win. I like Deja Vu's comp. They've got a lot of ways to either keep 7 Deadly Sins at bay. They have a slight range advantage in some of their roles, the Syndra stun, being able to knock back the Jarvan and stuff like that. And then they have a lot of engaged potential too. However, I really don't like to count out wombo combo of Jarvan Ori with an Ezreal ult locked over the top of it. So it's going to be relatively even, but gut instinct definitely going the way of Deja Vu.
All right, let us know in Twitch chat which way you're expecting this one to go. Start spamming your favorite stuffs. Annoy all of those mods out there, and we are going to get you into the action just as quickly as it all loads up for us. Coming on to the Rift this game, we are going to be seeing Arbosh, Z-Man Jr., Wakata Chui, Viking, and Stronger being the team for Deja Vu.
And on the other side, of course, we have the deadliest of sins. 7 of them, in fact. They are yourself, V2, Ignuta, Rock, Sean Houston, and Lamps.
Well, there we go. Teams have fully drafted themselves. We're going to be getting into the action very, very shortly. As I've said probably 3 times now, this is the joy of working with spectator delay after a while of having
Say the line again, Stan. When are we getting into the action, Stan?
Very soon.
Right.
And this game is not brought to you by all the sponsors that I had to say the names of 20 times last week.
Wait, there's something. Wait, but if you did want to shell out, there is somewhere you could potentially shell out, and I've got to go look for the links again because Joyce just
seamlessly done.
Where's
is
the
this why I'm the promo man?
Yeah, give me one. But I'm not saying that I would chill out on stream, even though I just did with my own stream and said if you want Ari tips, you could do that. And if you do want to do that, come visit my own stream. But if I was going to shell out, which because I haven't actually done that, you could go to gamersapparel.co.uk/store/Valence. But I wouldn't do that on stream, of course.
I mean, you know, what sort of stuff could you find there if you were to talk about it on stream?
Oh, you could get like a Valence League mug, which I'm actually drinking coffee off of right now, and out of.
Off of? You're drinking? Look, you like turned it upside down, and just the base rim is like.
My mastery of physics knows no bounds, especially not the bounds of a coffee cup. Either way, you could get yourself something like that.
Okay, well, it sounds like there's some great.
It's absolutely not just been posted in chat either.
gamersapparel.co.uk/store/Valence. Get yourself in there, get yourself some goods, and make sure you hold the coffee cup the right way up if trying to drink from it.
Ah, yeah.
Don't be like that.
Honestly, my mechanics are just very lacking. I just have to do it with raw talent.
Look, it's understandable for you to pick it up the wrong way. Lack of eyes means it's tough for you to see. Speaking of things that are tough to see, something I'm glad to see. This is my first opportunity to get to see Pool Party Jarvan in game.
Oh yeah, cool. I think we might have seen. I might have seen it once. Actually, we might have seen it in UEM stand. I think you're lying. You're lying to chat.
We didn't see Jarvan in UEM, so we definitely didn't.
Oh no, wait. Okay, well maybe I'm
not only have you not got eyes, but now you've not got a memory either.
No, it's been a really difficult chat.
Me and Sam, we will double play-by-play this, and frankly, it'll be so much better for it.
All right, yeah.
Get me Sam.
Okay.
Go get me Sam.
Sam.
I
think he's like. No, he did actually respond.
Okay. Well, when Sam's available, tag him in.
Okay.
This
feels like bullying, Stan. I like if we had a HR department at Valence League. I mean, I wouldn't say I'd go there immediately, but I'd be considering it.
It's a big if, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Okay, right. Oh, wait, we didn't have Pool Party Syndra. That's another thing we could have had. We could have had so much pool partying, which would be great.
What I was really hoping is like everyone would step in and chat to defend you there and be just like, yeah, no, stop being harsh to Nymera. And everyone's just like,
No. It's kind of the national sport at this point. What's Nymera doing this time? Can we, like, on him for it? I got to use the thing, Stan. I'm happy.
You told me what, yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Any word on Sam coming in?
Well, he did briefly reply, but I think he doesn't want to butt in. Maybe he knows. Maybe this is the turning point. You know, like when you're playing those Telltale games where it comes up with everyone will remember that.
Yes, I used to love those games. Okay, can we just take a moment to vent how angry I am that there was never a sequel to Wolf Among Us?
I never played that game, but there's so many different games. I mean, I remember there were a couple of Telltale games which were kind of meh, and I was kind of annoyed with how The Walking Dead was handled. It was a really good series, don't get me wrong, but kind of annoyed with how it was handled.
Yeah, that's completely fair, to be honest. But no, for me, I just loved the Wolf, and it was just I just waited for the sequel, which was for so long promised, and then obviously eventually cancelled, and it just broke my heart, you know.
Yeah. Well, there is no Ari to break my heart this time. I am still waiting for people to let through the Ari for Wakata Chui, so he's been well overdue a flaming, let me tell you. Okay, I'm going to pause at 10 seconds and we'll get into it, I guess.
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. That's exactly where I am, so we'll wait. Well, I would have been if I'd actually successfully pressed pause, but I didn't.
Hey.
So give me a moment there. This is top quality professional work, as always. We are at 10. We are good to go. Production, count us in. We are on to the riff for the first of this best of 3 series. We are bringing you Deja Vu versus 7 Deadly Sins Senior at the top of Division 1 of Balance League, and already we're seeing the 5-man stack coming in from Deja Vu.
I love seeing level 1s. This is such a good way at this kind of elo to catch people out. Darius is going to go stand in that tri-brush. Is he going to stand outside it, though? Is he going to stand in the brush or deny himself the vision? Looks like right now he's outside the brush. Oh, good job yourself. You did great.
Let's see how this one plays out. Yourself looking to get himself out to safety. He's going to be able to get the vision down nice and easily. There is nothing that the 5-man unit can do apart from recall on top of a ward.
Wow. What wonderful play. He's just completely outplayed the entire stack of Deja Vu. That's never before seen.
No, I mean, no comment.
Say, oh yeah, try picking that one up, Stan. I don't give you anything to go off of.
We've got the Oracle's early pickup for the Trundle. We obviously saw that vision being put down by Darius. He's going to be missing out on having that ward early into the laning phase. So if we do see any ganks from the Troll, by which I mean Trundle rather than Z-Man Jr. specifically, we could see a little bit of trouble for yourself and have to play that a little bit safer early on. However, it's nice for him to at least know what this start is coming in due to this ward.
Might be able to use that sweeper to sweep out this ward on the buff if that's something which they are more practiced for. It is actually available right now, and he sees it. There you go, and that's important. That gives XP to the laners.
Yeah, we'll see who decides to take this one away. I think it's actually...
It's shared XP if it dies in your area either way. It doesn't actually matter who gets last.
Yes, so Strong's going to get the gold for it, but he is also going to share the XP. As you say, small advantages all pay off later on. Trundle going straight across the other side of the river, so we could still see that early gank towards the Darius.
But there could also be an early gank mid. Jarvan goes red buff and immediately heads towards mid lane. Wakata Chewy, though, standing down.
Looking for potential flag and drag. The flash is available, but certainly not going to be used. Not burned by either the mid laner or the opposition jungler on this account.
And I do very much like what Ricardo Chewy did there. He knows that the Jarvan does have that level 2 potential. Sees him trading in the top lane, but that's not going to lead to too much either.
Yeah, Albrecht taking a bit of damage from the bleed, trading about even with yourself, who with that final swing of the axe was able to trade even, despite Albrecht getting that nice neutral shield. Meanwhile, Leona going out to get a bit of vision does lead to Sean Houston just being able to find a nice, easy mystic shot into the back of Viking.
It's a tale as old as time. Knife legs versus axe hands.
As soon as I mention time, anything associated with me casting and pauses.
I mean, it's a tale as old as time, and we have so much time now. It's not a good broadcast if there's no pause. Everyone has it.
Got all the time in the world. And what are we going to do with it? We're going to talk more about merch. Go to gamersapparel.co.uk/store/Valance now.
Hooray! He said the line. Okay, right, so let's have a talk about what's happened in the first couple of minutes, because I guess we can just do some shopkeeping there. It's nice to see that...
Do you look like a walrus?
Boris, why? Boris, why? Okay, right, so we saw the level 1 5-man stack coming out of Deja Vu, went towards that top lane. Nothing came of it, but the response from 7 Deadly Sins was good, right? They track the jungle start, and what that does mean is that Jarvan can go for a play mid lane. If you didn't know where the Trundle was starting, maybe you don't go for that, because you don't know if the Trundle's going to pop up somewhere randomly. Trundle is one of the best counter gankers in the game. Doesn't end up working out, and unfortunately, now Ignitar is going to be about a camp behind the Trundle, so we'll have to keep an eye out on that in terms of the tempo of the game going forward. But just nice to see some of the cerebral play out of both teams.
I met a guy who looked like a walrus once.
Was it Jamie Heineman from the Mythbusters?
It wasn't, no. I was over in Belgium.
I would have been much more impressed if it was, let me just tell you.
I was over in Belgium on my best friend's stag do, and they have this fantastic festival, which it just so happened coincided with the weekend that we were in Brussels. And one of the things that had this what was it, like a tent, I guess, where they were displaying their various wares.
Did it have a canvas held up by poles?
It was a tent. It was a tent filled with people with wonderful moustaches, and it turns out they're part of an official Belgian order called the Order of the Grand Moustache.
Are you kidding? That's so cool.
It was one of the most wonderful things I've ever seen in my life, and every time I see the storekeeper, I think of that guy.
That is... I didn't even know that was a thing.
I'll send you through a photo later on.
You've had such an interesting life. Why am I casting a League of Legends when I could be following the League of Evil
Order
Mustaches?
of the Grand Moustache? Yeah,
cool, right.
Well, I mean, you know.
Oh no, that's their sister organization, the League of Evil Mustache. Right, sorry, my bad.
Yeah, that's the one Vigar's actually a part of. But basically, yeah, it's why have I had such an interesting life? Well, I've just had so much more of it at this point. I think
you're not wrong.
I'm officially the oldest person to get to cast Valance League. I didn't know they still allow boomers in, so.
Oh yeah. Now, we'll see if the mental boom comes in game 2. We've seen that, you know that, I think it's, the Poros, the other team in, one of the other teams in Div 1. They are known for their mental booms. Mental boomers. You're not like you're amongst your kind, Stan, and not maybe in the same way, but.
Well, I mean, to be honest, there are people who go mental boom. That's definitely amongst my kind. You've seen enough of my solo queue play to talk about that.
Yes.
Would you like to let people know how well our assorted attempts at solo queue and flex queue have gone over?
So, for the record, my Smurf account has a 47% win rate.
So what you're saying is it's your fault. Gotcha. I have been betrayed.
Well, my win rate was okay before we started playing, Stan. There was a disconnect here.
I'm really loving the fact that in chat right now, we're kind of Chewy's just casually trying to start a song and like get a version of 99 bottles of beer on the wall going.
Wait, do you want to play Hangman with chat?
Oh, let's do it.
Wait, do you want to think of a word? Do you want to think? Wait. Okay. I've got one. Hangman.
Okay, it's the word Ari.
It's 1, 2. No, it's not. 3, 4. It's a 6-letter word. Does anyone want to play Hangman?
Okay, right. I'll start things off.
Cool.
Let's go with A. Let's go with A.
Okay, so that's the second letter. So it's blank A, and then you've got 4 blanks.
Okay, all right. So it can't be Pogger now.
No. Okay, I'm not that much of a zoomer.
No comment.
No, there's no E. You lose one, Byron. You lose one.
Dude, Byron,
so
stop!
Bad at this.
Stop stitching us up!
He's inting you like you int our solo queue game, Stan.
So
no, Byron, the word is not fuck.
Wow, that was so smoothly done. Let's guess. Let's pop a T in there.
No, Stan. There's no T. So you've guessed E and you've guessed T, and there's an A on the board.
Right. Okay, chat, help me out. Help me out. Come on.
Yeah, chat, guys. I there's 37 of you there. There could be more, and each of you could be louder. I'm just saying, I don't put in this much effort for what you're doing. No, there is no S.
Thor, you've let me down again.
Maybe
Loki, got anything?
Yes, Ice Arrows. There is an F. That's the first letter. Oh, chat, you're so good at this.
Loki.
No, there is no P. Oh, you're so bad. And no, the word is not Darius. There's an F acclaimed. There is no F in Darius apart from FF.
Loki here. Loki, bounce.
No,
okay,
it's not Fat Man either. You guys are so bad.
Okay, Loki. I mean, it can't be Fat Man. Number 1, we've already had A. I mean, never mind. I'm not even going to start on that one. Loki wants it to be an L.
There is an L. It's the third letter.
Girl, you're so much better than your brother. Oh, don't lick me in the mouth, you.
Oh, that is.
No can.
See,
I mean, you say that, but if it'd been Ari, you wouldn't have been complaining.
No, good, very good.
Okay, let's drop an O in there.
Yes, that is the 5th letter, so it's FAL blank O blank.
Okay.
Yes, Caps Lock Wizard has got it. It was Falcon. I was thinking of the other champion I play in solo queue, and it was Quinn. So there you go. Wow, we've managed to play an entire round of Hangman, and we're not in game. Yeah.
I've just also had the all clear from HR to continue with whatever I want. So we are back in the game. Let's go. So, all right. So I was just about to do a Hangman. But you know what? This game might be boring, so we might be able to do it mid-game. We'll see how that pans out. But for now, we are back into the action. The sepia screen has vanished. The casters have returned, despite having never really gone anywhere in the first place.
That's kind of looking forward to the Hangman, though. A bit disappointed now.
Acclaimed has just guessed GH and basically guess what my word is straight away. So.
Is it Greyheart?
It was Greyheart.
Oh, wow, we're so good at this.
You're so damn good. Meanwhile, yourself, he's taken a bit of a worse of this trade. You see Arbush using the hook shot, has got a good bit of damage, but with the apprehend, yourself trying to get the trade, flashing in and getting first blood. Get! Insert word here, Arbush.
Get absolutely. Yeah, that's the one. Okay, well, I thought that Arbush played the start of that fight really well. Traded with the passive, got the stun, had a very high value trade, and then couldn't disengage. The apprehend comes through. Darius is really good in those longer trades. The passive stacks up, and yeah, not so great for the Camille.
Things looked really, really strong for Arbush early on, but yourself doing exactly Darius things, and now we've got ourselves that lead for the champion who I felt slightly skewered this early nice team draft for 7 Deadly Sins. However,
the gang's top lane.
A nice little kill.
Ran the wrong way.
In a good place. Yourself, not in quite such a good place this time. Does manage to find the double health, but he's not going to be able to get himself out of danger here. He has no flash. He has nowhere to go. Arbush flashes forwards and equalizes the kill score in the top lane. Meanwhile, we did see the Scat of the Week connecting on the rock.
No, don't push. No, don't push.
Why no push? Tell me why no push.
Because it's a huge wave and you just use teleport. He wouldn't be able to farm for like the next 3 minutes. Okay, they're actually just clipping it. That's okay. That's fine. All right.
I think this is okay. I was on your side all along, Z-Man Jr. Let it be known. Meanwhile, Jarvan taking away Krugs on the bottom half of the map, looking potentially for this gank onto Leona and Varus. Were they to overextend, however, it's going to be a nice recall coming in from the bottom half of the map. We'll see exactly what Varus is going to be purchasing here, of course. We keep our eyes towards whether it's lethality or on-hit. And with lethal tempo, I feel like we're probably going to be seeing a little bit of on-hit today.
We will do. Yeah, Poke Varus has been kind of nuked out of existence. He's not good anymore. As we can see in that top lane, Darius, I think he's actually going to be able to break that freeze. Arbush didn't manage to clip the wave well enough, which, okay, actually, you know when I'm saying, oh no, don't push it? You need to kill like 3 or 4 range creeps to make sure it doesn't push in too quickly. So I might have jumped the gun a little bit too quickly now. Now Trundle, behind enemy lines.
With our first dragon now being up, Wakanda trying to catch onto Rock, not landing the scatter, but plenty of damage coming in courtesy of Z-Man Jr. We do see Lamps here trying to zone away the jungler in the mid lane, doing a pretty good job of getting caught out by the Shilling Smite, taking the portal out to safety. Just bad things, by the way.
Yeah. So I actually just got word of the comms that happened with Trundle behind enemy lines there. I think it went something like this.
I'm trying to get past the enemy guards, but the clap from my ass cheeks is too loud and it keeps alerting them.
That was actually Z-Man there. That we had a live recording of that.
Did someone in chat remind me why I'm doing this again? To clarify, I don't mean casting VL, I mean casting with Alex. Flash away from Wakanda as he tries to keep himself alive, doing a good job so far. Meanwhile, gank from Trundle on the bottom half of the map. Piercing arrow does go through Bard, ripping him down below half health, but it is going to be Trundle who takes the worst trade, gets caught out by the Warden. He's going to have to recall elsewhere.
Being said, Trundle has been active across the map, using his early ganking pressure. Trundle can do that. He runs through River really, really quickly, has himself water walking, and that the Frozen Domain and the Pillar give him lots of move speed, a differential with whoever he's trying to chase down. He's got himself a kill top lane, got himself a set of summoners in bot lane too with that exhaust in last trade, and again, he's just poking his head in every once in a while, whereas this Jarvan been slightly less successful, but at least managed to get something out of that Syndra with the last one.
Ocean Dragon also secured by Z-Man Jr. for his team, getting this one straight off the rift. Meanwhile, we saw Wakanda opting into the teleport back into mid lane, making sure he secured the word. Rock does still have the teleport available, so there is that slight teleport advantage for a couple of minutes still for 7 Deadly Sins Senior. Meanwhile, Utar, he may be behind in terms of any kill participation in the fact that he has none, but he has been keeping his farm relatively well, has that level advantage over the Trundle.
And the only thing that's worse than 1 is none, apparently. Goes back to his jungle, level 5, going to be hitting level 6 soon, and as soon as he has level 6, that mid lane is very, very gankable. You can actually flash Cataclysm right on top of the Syndra. You can't get Scatter the Weeks out of your Cataclysm like you can out of your combo. You are unstoppable. It means that the Syndra, who's already been under a lot of pressure, been forced back off of a couple of waves, and has now got that CS deficit to show for that, could be a death coming the next time because of the lack of summoners for Wakanda.
Meanwhile, a more important thing has happened on the internet than has happened in this game so far. A big thank you to Acclaimed for following me on Twitter. If you want to follow Greyheart on Twitter, go to @Greyheart99. If you want to follow Nymeria, then you have poor taste.
Yeah, I can't really one-up that, can I? I mean, I'd say he's wrong, but I mean, yeah, the amount of times I post about Ari about Spirit Blossom was been...
Hey, if you like stuff about Spirit Bonds, Nymeria is all for you. And this blue buff is going to be all for the Trundle, not sharing it with the Syndra whatsoever. No Lost Chapter completed yet for Wakanda Chewy.
No, and that's going to be a big thing. He has no teleport. He's going to have to manage his resets very well to make sure he can still farm in lane, have that mana to trade pretty well. Syndra's early mana costs have been very high recently, and maybe have enough mana for a gank. Rock was potentially in danger from Stronger here.
Yeah, Stronger hasn't completed the Mo Boots, but still looking for that early roam. No Zenith Blade to connect this time round as Ignitar takes away his own blue buff and is going to be going straight down to the bottom half of the map, where he is going to get spotted out by a ward. As that happens, Trundle starts to start up the Herald. Pretty sure he's going to be successful in this venture, meaning that all neutral objectives early on have been picked up by Deja Vu.
So far, there is no bot lane rotation, no teleports out of that bottom lane, and you don't really want to leave these AD carries alone with the duo lane, so it's kind of that game of chicken. Who's going to move first and leave it in that 1v2 scenario unless you move your AD carry with them and risk losing farm? Now we have that move up towards the Herald from 7 Deadly Sins.
Yeah, and this is really nice rotation in terms of where the ADC and the support, the support and the jungler have been going. As a result, the flash from Z-Man Jr. as he tries to secure the objective, not going to be able to do so. Shockwave pulling the trundle in. Z-Man Jr. has bit off far more than he can chew. Yourself gets his second kill of the game. The Herald is secured in the end by the Jarvan, and that is not the scenario that Deja Vu were herping. Herping for? They weren't herping for that one.
They weren't herping for that one, and they weren't herping for the 1v4, Stan. Don't do a 1v4. Don't do it. Doesn't work. Tries to go in for the steal, doesn't end up hitting the eye very cleanly, and even if he did, the amount of damage was not enough to secure that smite. It does go up to the Jarvan. You didn't have pressure on the top lane, Darius had pushed in, Syndra had been playing very respectfully in the mid lane, and of course we saw that Stronger try to engage onto Sean Houston, but he just kind of shifted away, ended up being fine with it. So what that meant was that Lamps, his roam up to that top lane Herald fight, was more than fine, and does give them the numbers advantage and that secured objective.
Sean Houston didn't end up roaming up towards that one, didn't need to at all, but has been farming it very, very well. Got that 10 CS advantage over Viking. Tyr already stacking up. Cull already almost completed. Going to have a healthy chunk of gold in pocket.
And it's kind of awkward when Varus does fall behind a little bit in laning phase, but it's very hard to zone Ezreal out of CS. Mystic shots are very, very good farming tool, and looks like Sean Houston's been on point with them.
The Herald is going to be summoned. That's in the mid lane for some extra turret plates. The gold will go into Orianna and the Jarvan. Meanwhile, second dragon will be spawning very, very shortly. We'll see if there's any priority put on towards this by Z-Man Jr. and if he actually gets any help from his team this time round.
Yeah, what a teams. I'd love to know what they are. My solo Q cries. Hit cries. Top lane, as much as the early trade did go the way of yourself and has now picked up that second kill from the Trundle too, still the CS lead there for the Camille. Once they get to that Triforce into Ravenous, Hydra, or the Death Stance, this Camille can very much take those 1v1s as long as they are mechanically played well, and you do save your cooldowns at the right point, and hopefully don't get hit by the upper hand or the outer blade of that Q.
Sean, gotta be careful here, caught out by the pillar, immediately gonna arcane shift over the wall, vision being cleared out by Wakanda Chewy as we do see Deja looking towards trying to take this dragon. Teleport is gonna come in, both Camille and Darius are joining the fray instantly. Stranger having to get out to safety, but immediately apprehended by Yourself, who's going big in this fight already. 2-1, but gets caught out by the Hextech ultimatum and obliterated by Wakanda Chewy, who still has the ultimate available as the Zenith Blade catches up to Sean. He arcane shifts away, but with a big chomp and with a big unleashed power, Wakanda Chewy gets the double kill, makes it a triple with the kill on Tignutar. The dragon will go over to Deja Vu, and they just eviscerated 7 Deadly Sins Senior in the team fight.
Wakanda Chewy has been playing respectfully the entirety of the first 10 minutes of this game. The first chance he gets to go turn on the afterburners, turn and burn, he picks up 3 kills for himself. Syndra popping off in that fight.
Yeah, that was absolutely disgusting. All of a sudden, we're going to see the Syndra have a 300 gold bounty on the head, and the next time Syndra's going back, it will be with plenty of gold in pocket. Already more than 2,000 gold available to them.
Oh, wait, yes, I forgot I could actually check my own stats on this one. Yeah, I mean, considering this early game, there was a lot of pressure put onto the Syndra. Didn't die in lane, had to blow a flash once, yeah, but that's fine. Went down to a 10 CS deficit, is now even with that. Picks up 3 kills, and now is very, very much in this game. Importantly, Arbrush got that kill onto, well, got the assist, at least, onto the Darius 2. Darius dies, doesn't have teleport, does have his ultimate available, so he maybe wants to take a 1v1 in the next couple of minutes. But often in these objective fights, you leave your top lane split pusher like the Darius to go do something and get his own advantage. He doesn't get that. He dies. He doesn't get any advantages. He's left in a very awkward spot.
Nightmare, speaking of the next couple of minutes, we'll come back in a moment because Z-Man Jr. try and find himself a little bit of safety. Flag and drag coming in from Ignitard, manages to land the dunk with the Cataclysm. That's going to be the pullback from Yourself. Damage coming through from Orianna. Yourself gets his 3rd kill. This fight goes a lot more favourably. Looking towards those next couple of minutes, we've got turret plates falling off in just over a minute. Only 1 turret plate in the bot lane secured so far by Deja Vu. On the back of the Herald, we did see 3 turret plates picked up for Orianna and Jarvan. There's not a huge amount of these turret plates been going over, as we do see Darius picking up an extra in the top lane and a blue buff stolen away for Rock.
I think a large part of that is you can't really dive or force off the wave a lot of these champions. Varus, Ezreal, they have wave clear. Leona, very hard to pick off. Same with Bard because of his portal. Speaking of that, that's what happens when you try and pick off the Ezreal. He jumps away. Top lane has been relatively back and forth, but we haven't seen those huge middle of the lane all-ins from both champions, which can lead to those more flip-floppy matchups. And then in the mid lane, you've got two wave clear control mages too. It's very hard to push in for turret plates when the wave just disappears.
Well, turret plating will be a thing of the past very, very soon. Our first few items are here. Now we're seeing the completed Mana Moon being stacked up even faster by Ezreal. Now, crucially, however, that Luden's already there for Syndra in comparison to just the Blasting Wand and Lost Chapter that Orianna has.
I wonder if a GLP would be better this game. It's still
it's not going to happen because it's just been completed. The Luden's is there.
No, that's why I do need to get a certain amount of toxicity out of my system, and I do use VL for that. You know, it's easy pickings. But the Luden's really good burst, really good at trying to shut down the Orianna or whoever jumps into the team fight first. But when there is a Darius on the other team, and also a lot of people who are very move speed reliant, like the Bard and Orianna, if they do get tagged by the slow, they can be in a lot of danger or can't follow up on their engage. The GLP can be very useful.
Sorry if you heard that sneeze. It's just that I'm really allergic to Alex's bullshit. So we are waiting to see the first key items secured in the top lane. Of course, both the Camille and the Darius are looking towards that Trinity Force. Neither one of them completed
Is that
so
why
far.
you were very ill during one of our UAM casts, Stan?
That's all it was. Yeah, we see Trundle is actually clearing out Vision as Hextech Ultimatum is issued by Arbush, who loses his ultimate pretty much for nothing here.
Huh.
And Trundle's been collapsed on and has to flash over the wall to safety.
Yes, it's that the party hexagon. It signals all the members of Seven Deadly Sins top lane.
Arbush finds the hook shot, able to get himself away without having to burn the flash. Meanwhile, on the bottom side of the map, we do see Viking evading the Tempered Fate coming in from Lamps, who throws down the damage, but takes a piercing arrow to the back. Already some good damage coming through from the Varus despite going on hit.
Very, yeah, it's a poke Camille ultimate. That's what I'm being told. It's a poke Camille ultimate. Either way, does manage to get out top lane, draws up 3 people there, and then kind of leaves things as they are. Yourself, though, might still want to go for something on top side, but luckily Z-Man on the Trundle is there to shield there if anything would go down.
The third dragon of the game still not around just yet, but the second Herald is. Of course, that went very, very badly the last time that we saw Z-Man Jr. starting this one up without any assistance from his team. Let's see if that happens all over again as Trundle looks towards the gank in mid lane. Orianna having to stay safe. Rock playing a very, very safe game on the 0-0-2 Orianna so far.
As there's not really been the same amount of attention from the mid lane from Seven Deadly Sins like there has been, from Deja Vu, like there has been from Seven Deadly Sins. Of course, Trundle not so easy to gank that mid lane. Oh, but top lane is the focus again. Yourself
opting to go very aggressive, knowing that he had the back of the Ignutar, who flashes, he puts down the Cataclysm. Yourself has the damage. There's the Noxian Guillotine. However, it's not going to secure the killer's Ignutar. Takes this one away from the Darius. Meanwhile, the 3 versus 2 in the bot lane turns into a 3v3 as Orianna's teleport comes in, preventing the first turret from going over. Jarvan able to start up the Herald on the back of this one. Viking flashes away from the shockwave at the last possible moment. Beautiful scandal is dead to rights. Rox may well be about to give up that deathless scoreline as Rox flashes away. We go try to take the blast going out to safety, but getting bamboozled somehow with the command protect. He still lives, trying to get out to safety. Viking looking for the piercing arrow, trying to find it and failing to find anything but 3 wolves.
Okay, alright, that was a bit of a botched dive. Well, not a botched dive. They didn't go for the dive. They threaten out their TP, and that's good, right? You get something for pretty much nothing. Just your time, your jungler, and the bots that they're not. Of course, it pops that ultimate as well. Herald has been summoned mid lane. It will take down that turret with that first charge. That's going to be traded for that Infernal Dragon, and it will be Infernal Soul Point now for Deja Vu. That's something we'll definitely check in on a few times throughout this game. But going back to that last play again, because of course we don't have replays or anything like that. Who needs those? I thought that Varus ult was just going to be disengaged, and then you realize the amount of follow-up they have. You know, I was saying in draft, oh yeah, Deja Vu. Got a lot of different things to hold this enemy team accountable. They all came in.
Lamps is going to walk straight into Trundle, finding loads of damage to the face. The pillar is put down. Lamps finding the portal out to safety, but still going to take damage from the piercing arrow. That's a nice play coming in from Sean as he finds yet more damage, killing off the Trundle before he can do anything about it. Tempered Fate dodged away from by Viking, but he has to take an awkward path, which makes life easier for the Jarvan. Doesn't make life easier for Lamps, though, as Viking and Stronger are trying to do everything they can to turn this fight in Deja Vu's favor. Ignutar will stay alive. alive. Stronger will not. Sean stepping forward. Now has Arbush here coming in from the teleport, but Yourself joins the fight as well. The apprehend is perfectly timed alongside the shockwave. Arbush throws down the Hextech ultimatum, but he's bleeding out, but not as quickly as the Darius, who gets taken down by the Unleashed Power. The bleed eventually will kill Arbush. It's 7 kills apiece. The madness has once again recommenced here at Valance League. Scatterweek will connect onto the Oriana. It's raining balls. Sean Houston putting down the damage, just stepping away from the piercing arrow, and for a moment I can take a breather.
Does Stan, you know you haven't been back for a while, but let me introduce you to a term we've coined for the Valance League. Welcome to the VLPL, where madness reigns and no one really knows what's going to happen at the end of the game.
This is just great fun to watch. I was promised that this would be a great series, and so far it is delivering in all sorts of ways. Some high-quality gameplay and some absolute fiesta action.
I do.
3 dragons now secured, by the way, by Deja Vu.
I do like how Arbush tried to use the hook shot for damage and just fired it through the champion. Maybe just a bit of a cursor misposition, but the hook shot just sadly shooting off into the horizon, who are also in this group in Division 1, was not really too much use. Almost very, very good for either team. There are a couple of key moments where it could have turned. The teleport coming in from Deja Vu from that top lane, like we said, could have turned that into 1 or 2 kills for them, but then the turnaround from Rockin himself as well just evened it up very nicely.
I'm interested to see that Z-Man Jr. is still taking away these blue buffs, not passing them over to Syndra. What are your thoughts on that?
As a mid laner, I hate him and will curse him for forever.
Cool.
I think
we got that one sorted out.
Yeah.
Well, he's got a blue buff, so he's got lower cooldown on the Chomp. This is genius, but he's not even able to trade with Ignutar, who is a mighty tanky boy in the Jarvan. As the exhaust is put straight onto Viking with the shockwave. That's going to be Lamps, taking the kill away from the person who's not really a carry. Rock says, Bard, take this one all to yourself. We want you to get your 6 items as quickly as you can.
Yeah, as he should. He landed the ult. He, he exhausted Varus into the shockwave, meant that he couldn't dodge. I think that he deserves that one.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, fine with me. The crucial point that I'm looking towards is this 4th Drake spawn. I feel like we have to have a big
one. That's the huge one, and the big thing will be that Ezreal will have his 2-item spike for that point. Actually, let me just check that mana limit. Yeah, he's on 660 stacks for his mana meter. It will go up into that Muramana, which means that you do have one of the strongest champions in the game of a 2-item spike Ezreal online and ready for that 4th dragon. The question is the rest of your team in a position where they can fight into a hilariously fed Syndra and, of course, this Leona, who has been doing a lot of work in these team fights too.
Yeah, Stronger having a very, very nice game with the Knight's Vow completed, negating some of the damage towards her carries. Yourself taking a lot of damage from Arbush, who has now got that Trinity Force. Of course, the Darius does too. Cataclysm is going to connect onto Wakanda Chewy. We see the Solar Flare put down just to connect, trying to land the stun. It's going to be a slow instead. Wakanda Chewy staying alive, post Zonya's landing the Scatter of the Weak, zoning away the opposition jungler. Meanwhile, Z-Man Jr. doing work. The Shockwave's going to catch him out there. He's got to be very, very careful. Doesn't want those enhanced Oriana attacks to finish him off. Meanwhile, the trade's continuing in top lane. Remember, Sean Houston not even in this fight, and it's still traded equally as Deja Vu look to try and get that kill on 7 Deadly Sins Senior, and yet again, not succeeding. Arbush, maybe we'll find one in the top lane, but he's sent scurrying away as soon as the bleed connects.
And imagine if Oriana had gone Lichbane, you know? Just the perfect second item for Oriana. Anyone's checked on League Twitter recently, that'll be a joke. Anyway, right, very even fight, all things said and done. We were talking about, hey, can 7 Deadly Sins fight into a really fed Syndra and Leona? Turns out they can finish off the Trundle very well, who's relatively far behind in this game. That's one of the reasons why I don't mind him taking the blue buff. He's so far behind in XP, he needs to get it from somewhere, and if Wakadachu is already excelling on his own on that Syndra, maybe you can do without that blue buff. Either way, goes down, well, I'm trying to remember if he did go down again in that fight. Either way, it's 7-8 now in the kills, things still very even in this game.
Something that is really interesting for me to watch is we do see the Chains of Corruption connecting Hextech ultimatum already issued on Sean Houston, trying to stay alive, doing a good job. Solar Flare catches onto 3. Tempered Fate is going to block away 4. Yourself is one of them, and he is now doing work yet again. Stronger because Zenith Blades, he goes into all sorts of trouble. Sean Houston's going to be there. Yourself takes himself the first kill. That's going to be yet more damage coming through. It's a 3 for nothing. Deja Vu all over again for the blue side team. They're giving away their first dragon of the game. 7 Deadly Sins Senior pick up 3 kills. They pick up a crucial dragon. They pick up an even bigger gold lead. They're now 3,500 gold up.
Those of you who've listened to me cast since the very start of my days will know that I occasionally brought out, well, I brought out Lord of the Rings references far too much. Well, this is again the Mines of Moria situation. Dove too greedily and too deep, and they still could not get Sean Houston. He doesn't go down. The Tempered Fate resets the fight for the next round of cooldowns, and of course with all of the go buttons been pressed from Deja Vu already, they just couldn't finish off any more kills, and yourself was wailing on the front line of Deja Vu.
That felt like pretty much worst case scenario coming out of that. So many summoners born, so many ultimates, not a single kill picked up, giving away what would have been an Infernal Soul. This is beyond suboptimal. And despite that 30 CS advantage that you can see for Camille over Darius, there is still a gold lead of 1,000 for Darius, courtesy of all these kills that have been picked up.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that is Deja Vu kind of scuffing their engage. Some of it is the Trundle being not the strongest tank line, so if he ends up going just as that solo front line into the Darius just rips him a new one. And another part of it is that Wakata Chui, very, very strong. You look at that last fight, has not always been in the optimal position. Part of it's the setup. He's been in a side lane trying to get to the fight and then zoned off by someone. Part of it is just the disconnection in the engage. Either way, the Syndra, who might be able to deal with this Darius, is not in a position to completely burst him out when that Trundle ultimate's been put down.
Nymeria, I'm pretty sure that we're going to see yet more plays around that dragon as they start to form. But for now, we have to turn our attention towards the Baron, towards the top lane, where Arbush just about able to get himself on stage. Massive shockwave. Catches onto 3, and just like that, it's a triple kill for that man, Sean Houston, benefiting off a beautiful play from Rock, and the Baron will be started up instantaneously on the back of this.
Yeah, someone bring out Muse, put it on the stereo, because that was a super massive black hole wombo combo. We had the Jarvan Orianna, the Ezreal over the top, textbook as you like, 3 kills for it.
Chewy and Viking trying to do everything they possibly can to dissuade 7 deadly sins from picking up this Baron, but it's going to be so tough. And meanwhile, yourself just continuing the push in the bot lane, does have teleport should he want it. Yet again, Ricardo and Viking, they're stepping forward. Neither of them has flash available. Change of Corruption is there. We may see this thrown on towards the Scandal. In the Ignitar has to go golden. This is bad news, Bears, and that's the shutdown onto the jungler. Sean is going to get obliterated by Syndra as well. The Baron is still secured courtesy of Orianna, but the kills are coming thick and fast. The almost complete wipe comes in as Deja Vu turns this fight on its head. Darius, where was the freaking teleport?
It's in his hand, Stan. It's on. I think it's on his F key. That's the problem. You know, he's trying to spam that D key. He's like, I've got to get to the fight. No. And you can't flash across the map. You're just yeah, he's stuck on that bot lane turret, does not respond in time, the communication wasn't there, and at another crucial turning point in this game, triple kill to the Syndra, hilariously strong is Wakata Chui.
We have still got the 1 Baron buff on yourself. However, Viking and Wakata Chui did so much work. Credit to them for making 7 Deadly Sins' life so tough. They pit themselves 2 turrets on the back of this one, reduced the gold lead to 3,000. Now have the opportunity to reset, not only with the Baron off the table, but with that dragon spawning once more.
And in one of our games we cast fairly recently, actually, we had a Baron secure go absolutely wrong, and there was a Baron steal from like 10,000 gold down. And one of the things we said in the lead up to that is, hey, even if you are behind, and in fairness, this wasn't a massive lead in this game anyway, but you could see that the game was kind of slipping away from Deja Vu in a lot of these fights. You don't just give it up. You don't throw in the hat. You gotta make them sweat. You make them fight for every inch, even when it is a winning play for them. And what we saw there was, even though the top lane fight went tits up, it was not good, Deja Vu made them sweat. They were like, hey, okay, we have enough people to contest. You have not removed our Syndra. You've removed a lot of other people, but that's very important. Now they have a death cap. Let's see how they do that the next time.
This is interesting. We've got less than a minute on the Dragon Spawn, and we see Z-Man Jr. lurking in the wings, looking for yourself, trying to final Baron buff. Pillar is put down. Arbush taking a lot of damage. Has to be careful as the Noxian Guillotine comes through. Beautiful time in the Hex Tech ultimatum, but it just gives a reset over. Yourself managed to find multiple bleed. He's going to find the 2 versus 1. He doesn't even need the double dump. Now with the jungler dead, that's going to be a second Infernal Dragon going to 7 Deadly Sins. I see what they were trying to do, but I'm telling you right now, and guess what? It's wrong.
That is dangerous. Nymeria, 2020. That was my quote. You can go and clip that. I have said it. I had foreseen it. Darius had a 2-level advantage over the Camille. You do not go for that play. Trundle ult comes through. Also, you can't dodge a Darius ult. If you just dodge it going to stasis, it goes on cooldown. You can't do anything with that. You can spell shield it, and you can shield it, whatever, but you don't get to get rid of the cooldown entirely. Now, with that, Deja Vu, they don't get to contest for this dragon. That's kind of sucky. They wanted Soul.
Ignitar does have Smite available, so I would expect to see a Piercing Arrow stealing this one away. Not going to come close. Tempered Fate actually dodged away from by Viking and Stronger. That's a second consecutive Infernal Dragon, yet again amplifying the damage coming out of multiple highlight reel plays that we've seen from Rock and from Sean Houston. And can I just give some extra credit to Rock for securing that Baron as well?
Absolutely, yeah, no, and in those very back and forth moments when the Baron is very close, your jungler is dead, there are 0 smites, just losing your head and making what seems to be a good decision at the time can lose you so much in a game. You lose the Baron, you lose a kill, maybe you don't get out because you've taken a step forward looking for something. Rock does manage to secure that Baron. He does die in that fight too, don't get me wrong, that's kind of sucky, but you managed to get something out of it. And now with that Baron, because Darius was back alive again, he had that Baron for that play on topside, and that follows on into that kill, which then leads to you getting that dragon. Every little thing counts. It looks like all the little things are going the way of 7 Deadly Sins.
We're more than 28 minutes into this first game of what stands to be an epic best-of-3 series here in Division 1 of VL. We see some key items now completed, and I look towards that now. 7, 3, and 2 Darius, that remember was put ahead early on, and it looks so incredibly imposing. It was my biggest concern in this team comp, but now it's looking to be one of the biggest strengths.
The thing for me is that as soon as he gets to Death's Dance, he will survive through to another Q. He'll have that extra 10% CDR and, of course, the extra healing and the deferred damage. You get to block out some of that, and you get to take 30% of it over time over the next couple of seconds. If he survives through to another Q, and he's already got his Conqueror stacked up, and you're only going at him with 2 members, he wins that 2v2 so hard. You probably need to send 3 people at him now, and one of them probably has to be the Syndra.
One massive difference that you can see between the Syndra and the Orianna is the difference in preference being put towards the Rabadon's Death Cap and the Zhonya's Hourglass. The former already completed by the 7-0 and 2 Syndra, still missing the stopwatch, missing the completion of the Zhonya's. On the other hand, that Zhonya's long ago completed by the Orianna, who's just picked up the second needlessly large rod towards the Death Cap.
I think that Syndra doesn't have an option to go anything else but optimal damage this game. I think that given the way the game is going and the gold which has fallen into your lap with an Infernal Rift on the board too, you need to be the person deleting someone from the team fight, particularly at this point in the game. As much as your team is down 4,000 gold, this Syndra can even that up by taking, say 10,000 gold off the board by killing the Orianna, because that's how much gold that champion has.
It's probably the best hope they've got, especially if they can actually, rather than the Orianna, even take down Sean Houston. But that's so tough with that cleanse still there.
Last time, remember? Didn't work.
Exactly. It's not been going too well so far for Deja Vu in their attempts to kill off either yourself or Sean Houston.
We've got me. I want another season on this TV show. Wait, this isn't Game of Thrones. I'm not. Wait, Nymeria. Yeah. Okay, right, so maybe I will die next season.
The option. The second Baron's going to be spawning pretty soon. Still
for the record, my name is not from Game of Thrones. It is completely different.
I never said it was.
Well, you mentioned it earlier, and I'm still stuck on it. I am tunneling on this, Stan.
I mean, you know that given any opportunity, I will quite happily call you.
I am aware. I want to set the record straight.
Sorry, Nymeria.
Okay, so you did a better job than Chazmaster. Okay, well, we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, that was so funny.
Nymeria. The worst one I've had is Nymeria. That one's, yeah.
What was it that he said? Nymeria or something?
It was, I need to go back and clip it. It was...
that was so great.
Yeah. Pronunciation mechanics, not on point.
My word, that was just great stuff. Meanwhile, we are seeing the Baron Dance starting up one more time. Last time the Baron Dance went out to something of a whimper. This time Z-Man Jr. trying to catch out Ignitar. Very, very difficult to do this, as we do obviously the immediate flag and drag. Syndra's got a blue buff, Nymeria!
Hey,
meanwhile, Darius continuing the split push in the bot lane. This is the fight being forced. Arbush looking towards Ignitar, pulling him back with the Hextech ultimatum. Beautifully timed. Can they finish off this jump before the teleport comes through? This is going to be a straight out 5v5 as it's going to be Darius joining the fight, having pushed this wave almost all the way up to the inhibitor turret. Disengage coming in, some crucial summoners already burnt. Scatter the Weak, gonna catch on to 2. Look how low Viking is. If Darius gets on his face, he's deaded.
Wait, don't hit the wave, Deja Vu. Your AD carry needs to heal. He does have life steal. He's now missing about 300 HP. If the Orianna gets in range of him, that shockwave will surely kill. Now we have 25 seconds until the next dragon spawns. Very, very important.
Shields coming in from Lamps, but Ignitar is still going to be the lowest member on his team coming into this next Infernal Dragon. Would be a third Infernal in a row if 7 Deadly Sins can get their hands on it. Meanwhile,
wait, are they trying to straight for Baron?
The Dragon, they might actually just straight out trade this if they're not careful. Remember, Tempered Fate will be available. Will buy some time for 7 Deadly Sins.
No, they use it in the last fight.
One is going down. You're absolutely right. There's still a cooldown for Lamps here. We see the Baron started up, but then stall. They're looking for the pick. They're not going to find it, though. That was a long old bait and switch.
I think that Varus needs to be the guy sat in that brush trying to fire out that Chains of Corruption. It didn't end up that way. They don't get the pick. Their positioning has not paid off. Now they've lost all their position on the Dragon.
Yeah, they have absolutely given away what is now going to be an equalizing soul point to 7 Deadly Sins. And not just that, but 3 Infernals to the damage already coming out of Rock, Sean Houston, yourself, and let's not forget Lamps.
I mean, you actually get a lot of AP from support items. He's gone Shirelli, he's gone Athenes. That's not awful damage. And Bard has very high numbers, like we were saying. Lichbane and Rapid Fire Cannon is legitimately not awful on Bard. It takes a lot of gold, though, and I'm not sure the rest of his team will be willing to give him that.
I kind of want to see a Mikhail's on him at this point, if I'm honest.
I agree. I think that would be very important. He does have that... He does have a magic... I'm sorry, what was that sound?
That was me almost falling backwards off my chair. Don't worry about it.
I
was just really excited to see the teleport coming out of Okada Chewy.
Oh.
He's teleported right towards yourself. He's got to be so careful here. Fortunately for him, yourself did not have teleport. Dodged away from the Tempered Fate.
Ah, okay. So, well, that is no longer available again. Phase Rush coming up big. Landing so many stuns now.
Oh, this is a big moment. Sean Houston had to use the cleanse. That's going to be a Solar Flare and a Zenith Blade put down by Leona. Yourself going lower and lower. Scatter the weeks there. The heal comes in. Not enough. Viking finds one. He had to burn their heal. Now the chase continues. Arbush looking to go forward, looking for potential hook shot towards Sean Houston, but it's actually going to be the shockwave that pulls him back. The kill comes into Sean Houston, finds Z-Man Jr., and look at the health bars on Arbush after that shockwave. Yet again, Rock pulling out absolute blinders.
And once again, unfortunately though, the jungler dies for Deja Vu. Does this signal anything around objectives for the side of 7 Deadly Sins with the likes of the Solar Flare and the Chains of Corruption being on cooldown? They're sitting around the topside river and they're going to catch a Leona.
Oh, that is a very dead stronger, and it is going to be Ignitar who is easily able to tank this one up as the piercing arrow goes way wide. Baron has not been started up by the team that does now have the power play. However, with Z-Man Jr. coming back to life soon, it is just going to be yet again a bit of a stall out. We are going to get closer and closer to what could be a deciding dragon in this game.
Unfortunately, though, we did see that yourself is not tanky enough to deal with this Syndra. He just keeps putting Qs on the ground, keeps summoning more of those orbs, and gets something like a 7-ball ultimate onto the Darius. It goes straight through his Starix, goes straight through the Death Stance, and he is nuked from existence. Well, does this mean now that 7 Deadly Sins want to commit someone else to the backline dive rather than just leaving the Darius there? And we're saying, hey, maybe you need 3 people, whatever. It's going to have to be some problem solving in the allocation of targets in fights.
I suppose you've got to look a lot towards what Ignitar can get with that Cataclysm as well, because when he locks down the correct units that don't have any escapes available, so for example, Viking without his flash at the moment, that could be pretty much donezo.
Yeah, exactly. You catch either of these backliners without their flash in that backline with the Cataclysm, and they die. They die. If you get that Shockwave on top of it, the amount of damage with the Death Cap and triple Infernal Dragon onto this Orianna will just delete that carry.
We are getting towards the 40-minute mark in this first game of what is a best-of-3 series. If they all go this long, we are in for an exciting evening of entertainment. Remember, there's even another best-of-3 series after this one as well. Please make sure to tune in for that
on
one.
the second stream,
Demon Jr. is on completely the wrong side of the rift if this Baron were to be started up right now.
He is. There is a teleport for Arbush, and he will be seen on the wave, which means that Trundle is not pushing out himself. What this does mean, at least, is that Z-Man manages to get himself a little bit more XP, picks up his Krogs. He does have a Spirit Visage, which might help versus that Shockwave he has been caught in a fair few times this game.
Update, Wakanda Chewy has now had 3 blue buffs.
Oh, wow, okay. That's actually quite important because it means that he can continually stay out on the map. He's not going to have an item completion anytime soon. Okay, he will have his Void Staff relatively soon, but in the couple of minutes before this, it's allowed him to have that extra mana regen, turn up to fights and still be on full capacity, get those nukes out in the team fights, particularly as we're talking about how it's very important versus the Darius, and now coming up to this objective fight, it will be very important.
I'm not too sure how long you'll have to pad out this thought, but we've not really touched on scaling at all, and with the teams only 2,000 gold apart as the
Was that your next Hangman word? Scaling.
Well, here's the thing. Which of these two teams has benefited the most? We've got Sean Houston absolutely popping off on the Ezreal, but is this Varus with the on-hit build now at the strongest part of the game?
I think that Varus, if he is left alone in a backline with 4 items, is ridiculously strong. Once you get a kill on a champion, the amount of attack speed you get, just trying to figure out if I can talk. I can't talk, Stan!
Dangerous game here. Ignutai is going to die straight away to Viking, and Houston is in all sorts of trouble. Arbush battering down him, but it's Sean Houston who wins out, throws out the true shot brush, and finds a kill onto Syndra with it as well. Big double for Sean Houston as the ADC for 7 Deadly Sins absolutely pops off, finds the triple onto Viking, looks towards the quadra, but it's stolen by yourself, you dick!
Who am I? I am yourself but better version 2. Cleans up the back end of the team fight, and he was not nuked this time. It is just one lonely Leona left on the map. It's going to be a tiny bit of support combat before they head their own ways, and it's now Infernal Soul to 7 Deadly Sins. Looks like Deja Vu succumbed themselves to the deadliest of sins, greed.
4 consecutive Infernal Dragons, an Infernal Soul, and a Baron buff to come. Interesting to see that there wasn't that decision to push towards the inhibitor turrets or the inhibitors themselves, instead opting towards 2 big neutral objectives. And I'm pretty sure that right now we're going to see 7DS getting both of them.
I think they're pretty happy with that. You know that you only have a certain amount of time with those death timers, and if you take the 2 biggest things off the map, it means that Deja Vu don't have any options to fight around these large objectives again and try and find themselves a big engage. Now you can slot into a multi-lane style of play with your Darius being hilariously fed, tons of wave clear, and of course a lot of damage under your belt with a 4 Infernal Dragon, Infernal Soul.
Of course, we've already seen the Baron secured once, but that time the buff only remained for yourself on the Darius, who wasn't able to do a huge amount with the split push this time around. They can set up however they want, 4-1, or 3-1-1, or 5-0, whatever they want to do. They've got both of the big buffs in their pocket now, and one of them is sticking around for good. The Elder Dragon may still.
Damage would you double you?
Yeah, this is scary time to be playing against Rock. Maybe only 3 kills, but for me, one of the most outstanding performances of anyone in this team.
I agree. He's kept himself very safe. Speaking of that, well, Houston, we have a problem. It's Sean. That Ezreal cannot be shut down. They have tried so many times. The Camille failed in a 1v1 versus the AD carry. It's a level down on the AD carry, who has a death stance when you don't have one. The Ezreal is not going to be killed.
We've seen this one before, and I'll tell you right now, it doesn't usually end well.
Oh, you're approaching me.
Good God, no, please. Darius continuing that push. Meanwhile, we do see the other 3-strong unit of Sean Houston Rock and Lamps just invading the enemy jungle, taking away a few camps for themselves. They look towards pushing in this top lane. This is going to be so hard for Deja Vu to deal with.
And at least it gives them some minions to farm somewhere across the map, because the waves are continually shoving into them with the Baron buff being applied so liberally across the map. How much are they going to lose from this, though? Are they going to lose an inhibitor? If they manage to hold into an inhibitor, does that mean they can fight for the Elder Dragon in 4 minutes? If they get enough XP onto someone like Arbush again, can he start trying to kill Sean Houston if he gets something like a Death Dance? There are so many breakpoints which they could go towards, but I think given that there's only 4 minutes left, they need to funnel their gold somewhere for a win condition in the next team fight.
41 minutes about to come onto the clock as we see the instant inhibitor turret start to come under threat. Incredible that in a mid turret still survives for Deja Vu. Arbush himself looking to survive as you see the healing that comes through for yourself now, looking absolutely disgusting. He looks for the dump, he finds the kill onto Arbush, and there's absolutely nothing Camille can do about it. That's going to be inhibitor turret number 1 secured, and the inhibitor will fall on the back of this one too. This opens up for the push to continue on the top side. This is going to be Ignutai and the rest of the team stepping forward and removing a second inhibitor turret from the map. You asked what could happen if Deja Vu could survive. Well, guess what? They couldn't. Flash away. That's going to be Wakanda Chewy managing to find a kill, going gold as well. For a moment. Is there any more he can do? The answer, my friend, is no. Viking now is the only damage dealer really remaining for Deja Vu as they look to hold on to their Nexus turrets. Ignutai takes damage, Lamps puts the exhaust straight down onto Viking, who still has the flash, still has the heal, needs to do the damage. He manages to find himself 1 kill on towards yourself, but he gets absolutely popped by Sean Houston, who finds the double kill, looks to find a triple. Yet again, he's doing absolute work. 10, 2, and 6 on the Ezreal. Read it and weep, Deja Vu. You're going down 1-0 in this series.
And they will hope to not reprise this in Game 2 because this was, well, not dominant, but a showing to remember from 7 Deadly Sins.
What a cracking performance that was. 7DSS looking very, very good for that win. That being said, don't forget that they, in both of their wins so far this split, have dropped games. So if that's anything to go by, we're almost definitely getting 3 games in this series.
Wow, I can't wait for another reverse sweep in the Valence League. We haven't seen one of those before. This was a very entertaining game. This was a very entertaining game. I think that there were plays made across the map. Maybe not the most well thought out plays, but they were made.
So MVP coming out of game number 1?
MVP coming out of game number 1. Oh, that's a very good question, actually. I'm going to throw it over to yourself on the Darius. I think I'm going to do it for Darius. I think there's a chance it could be the Ezreal, but I think that his front line gave him so much space. I kind of have to attribute a lot of his success to the likes of Ignitar and yourself playing so well.
Is that the first time you've ever given the MVP to yourself?
Yes, it is, Stan. Yeah,
More of that and those awful puns to come. After this short break, we'll be bringing you the rest of this best of 3 before bringing you yet another best of 3 series later in the evening. Please stay tuned. We'll be back.
So rocky here for my real friends. No shots in here for my fake friends. You can hate, man. I don't make amends. I just live my life. I don't take from them.
When I woke up this morning and the haters were up on me, I just told them stay up out of my way. Because I got a real bad temper, it's the middle of September. I don't think you wanna catch my case. Man, if you do so much as touch me, then it's bound to get ugly where police gon' end up all in my face. So, to eliminate the problem, I pop a bottle, then yell out sayonara and have a nice day.
How could I know what it's like? How could I know what a life? Know a lot of artists who don't like to bring it to light. And I'm included in that, I ain't saying it's right. But it's been pushed out the news, don't look like change will happen soon. Donald Trump is all that they talk about, I'm tired of it too. They only talking about racism when the city's burning up, when cops are getting shot, and when the shooter's getting caught. Peaceful protests rarely get a mention. Y'all demanded this could be prevented. Y'all sensationalize the violence just to get a check-in. What's the message? Only getting heard when you draw the weapon. You wonder why these people getting hurt. You ain't learned your lesson. Interview yourselves, god damn it, that might answer questions. Look at how you rep it, what's projected. Fuck you Fox News, y'all won't ever get it. So I gotta step in, white man from the 307, telling y'all I'm fed up with
When I woke up this morning and the haters were up on me, I just told them stay up out of my way. Because I got a real bad temper, it's the middle of September. I don't think you wanna catch my case. Man, if you do so much as touch me, then it's bound to get ugly where police gon' end up all in my face. So, to eliminate the problem, I pop a bottle, then yell out sayonara and have a nice day.
Word to Rose, I'll never relate to that. Might get pulled over, they check my ID and hit the gas. All these divisions, race, religion, economic class. How are we free till realities can overlap? I know what it's like to live round dollars on dollars. And I know what it's like to see that money get smaller. And I know what it's like to live with and without God. But I'll never know life at systematical odds. Fucked how the system has played with all of our minds. Wish that we could see each other through a child's eyes. No prejudice instilled, manipulation of the will. One world, under one sun, over one race that is human. We fight amongst ourselves like, what the hell are we doing? Shit is so outlandish while we fucking up the planet. Fighting over someone's color while our planet's in the red. A miracle in a sunbeam, yeah, y'all know what I've said.
When I woke up this morning and the haters were up on me, I just told them stay up out of my way. Because I got a real bad temper, it's the middle of September. I don't think you wanna catch my case. Man, if you do so much as touch me, then it's bound to get ugly where it's the middle of September. I don't think you wanna catch my case. Man, if you do so much as touch me, then it's bound to get ugly where police gon' end up all in my face. So, to eliminate the problem, I pop a bottle, then yell out sayonara and have a nice day.
Snacks and cups of Patron, parties on buses with us. Me and my bros on a mission to leave with your riches, your bitches, and even they clothes. Yeah, I don't know, probably give it to a charity or something. Every girl nowadays wanna marry me or something. Hate that shit, all I needed was a pic, but your ass always said to me a narrative or something. Say the pick of tits, bitch, I ain't even knowing it. Boyfriends hate me and I ain't even noticing. Never tie a girl down, I ain't never roving them. Hella blunts everywhere, I'm second hand smoking them. Really real, it's me and Gerald. Tell all the lame niggas how they girls. Going dumb till I'm numb. Couldn't even tell your ass out his veils. Trying to write a rap when you're drunk is a skill though. Bottles and bars and they both being killed though. Trying to talk to these bitches is hard cause I sound like Boomhauer from King of the Hill though. Girls do wanna come, wanna stay. Texting Super Smash Bros, hoes wanna play. It's really fucking hard and I wasn't trying to party, but fuck it, okay. Turn up.
I don't know why I get so high. Wake up tomorrow and my whole day's gone by. Doing what the fuck I feel like. Will someone tell me is this real life?
Last night was a movie. I swear last night was a movie. I swear last night was a movie. I swear last night was a movie.
Okay, last night was cinematic. I'm a women addict, it's been established. She pulled my shirt, then ripped the fabric. Woke up shirtless, just in a jacket. Roll a spliff of cabbage, I'm living lavish. You're living average, this isn't Newman. I've been a savage, wrote every swisher that's in the package. Yeah, I'm just young and blessed. Past that trash, I'm unimpressed. These hoes get kicked out, that's sudden deaths. I'm on one, probably could've hung with Hunter S. Now I'm gonzo, cross-faded. Took another shot, should've waited. When tomorrow comes, I'ma hit it. Up until then, I'ma make it. Yup. My mind is so gone. Rolling up more, trying to get in my zone. Fuck going out, man, I'm all good at home. About to call it no girl who I know I could bone,
I don't know why I get so high. Wake up tomorrow and my whole day's gone by. Doing what the fuck I feel like. Will someone tell me is this real life?
Last night was a movie. I swear last night was a movie. I swear last night was a movie. I swear last night was a movie.
So faded, so high. So faded, so high. If I do some more, I'll pass out on the floor like I'm waving goodbye. So faded, so high. So faded, so high. Every night on tour, we all get dressed galore, man, I stay in the sky.
I don't know why I get so high. Wake up tomorrow and my whole day's gone by. Doing what the fuck I feel like. Will someone tell me is this real life?
I made it out the hood, 7 years old. Gunshots and sirens. Rapping cause my first beats were gunshots and sirens. Told me no snitching or you would go missing. Niggas drawing blood, call the violence artistic. I remember teachers saying everything was art. Same teacher down talking to graffiti in the park. Ebonics that I speak, got her squinting when I talk. She confused by the way we fuse Webster and Pac. Mad cause I didn't really study a lot, but I quoted every lyric to the albums I copped that. I ain't a killer, but don't push me. Revenge is like the sweetest joy next to getting pussy. 6 years old, I ain't know about the pussy, but I was on the playground daring niggas to push me. And a slick mouth kept me in and out the principal's office. Mama walking in pissed, I was scared as hell. Told me if I spoke true, she'd provide the bail, but if I lied and she found out, she'd take me to jail. Kinda harsh, but it's real and I thank her for that. Yeah, the Oscar goes to her for playing mommy and dad. Little man run the house, she called me Poppy in fact, cause I stepped up, stood out and got me some racks. Mama gave up a dream, she took one for the team. Now I'm in the game ballin', trying to get her a ring. I'm waiting on tomorrow, waiting for someone to follow, waiting on tomorrow to come. So I'll keep waiting for tomorrow. Time gets hard to borrow, waiting for tomorrow to come. Yeah, I'm trying to give some things like a house in Espanol, the best unfold. Swear to God, my life story is the best untold. Lyrically, the rhymes I'm spitting don't sell like gold. While them hating ass niggas were perplexed at home, I was in the studio trying to perfect my flow. If we talking about it, Shotty got the best at throne. I'm not the next best song, I've been the best since bone. I was best at birth, be the best to the hearse. But the old heads diss me cause I'm young and I curse. They don't understand that this generation is hurt. Girls listening to songs that can't determine they worth. Boys listening the same, so they selling for work. Leaving only two options, either jail or get murked. Damn, yeah, it's either jail or get murked. Leaving only two options, either jail or get murked. So I'm waiting on tomorrow, waiting for someone to follow, waiting on tomorrow to come. So I'll keep waiting for tomorrow. Time gets hard to borrow, waiting for tomorrow to come. I'm waiting on tomorrow, waiting for someone to follow, waiting on tomorrow to come. So I'll keep waiting for tomorrow. Time gets hard to borrow, waiting for tomorrow to come.
I don't even know you, but we texting. It turns into sex in my mind. You've been testing. The one thing I lack is a lack of affection. See, just like with math, I've been stacking my exes. You ain't the one. Since you, I've been sipping this song. You knew him, I'm everything that you wish that he was. You hit wit and then quit. So in the long run, you just fuck with my feelings for fun. Say it, you love me right now and then prove it to me. I promise I'm different. That's hard to believe. Cause you talk, never walk. It's a lame motherfucker. Is all you gon' be. Never wanna be surface. I swim in the deep. Man, I swim in the deep. Hate on my music, hate on my concepts. Honestly, this is just me being me. So fuck your opinion. I stick to my vision. Making this music and other decisions. I'm sorry, fake friends. I was always too driven. That caused a division. You hate but still listen. It's funny. Rap about money makes money. Nowadays, everybody wants something from me. You stealing my style, gon' have to tear from me. I would never double down for you dummies.
Try to make everybody happy, that was my biggest mistake. I could show you how I feel, you'll get the fuck up out my face. I'm a blow, run the show. That's something I fucking know. I do this all on my own, and the only way we going is up. I won't stop for nothing to say. I'ma do this on my own, and I'm sick and tired of running away. The only way we're going is up.
You bought him 100 YouTube icon, but it to the kid of YouTube icon. try to make everyone happy, yo, was I wrong? People wanna see you fail when you're giving your all. Waste days every word, even talk straight. Whole life in the copy paste. Talking about my mistakes, I guess you can't relate to the path that I chose to take. A picture walk that attacked on my face. Feel like I promise that it's what I'm a fake. You see the hate, it's a part of the fame. You see my purpose as a part of the change. You've been stuck in your ways, I've been riding the wave, yeah. So many things I've been dying to say. Once you talk, I see what's going on in my brain. I'm doing well, so I can't complain. I took the pain and made the art that y'all see today. You don't like it, you can fuck yourself. Take your opinion to someone else. I made the best of the handle without. People that talk the most can't handle themselves. All you hear about is injury wealth. Your bad vibes going down with jail. Lost in your pride and never asked for help. Look into my eyes and see what they reveal. I'm a bigger legend, I promise that for real. Yeah. Everybody, I bet that was my biggest mistake. I can show you how I feel. You'll get the fuck up out my face. I'm a blow, run the show. That's something I fucking know. I do this all on my own. And the only way we going is on. I won't stop for nothing to say. I'ma do this on my own and now see.
We are back for game 2 of this best of 3 series here at Valance League. Division 1 bringing you Deja Vu versus 7 Deadly Sins Senior. 7DSS picking up our hard-fought game number 1, looking to take the clean victory in game number 2. Reverse sweep attempt coming in from Deja Vu. Alex Nymera Hapgood once again joining me on the caster desk. We are good to go into this next game.
And we just spent the entire break talking about card games. So welcome back to the best of 3 of now exploding kittens between 7 Deadly Sins Senior and Deja Vu. I don't even know what that game is. So wow, I meant to explain stuff. They played the card. Wow,
they sure did. Some saddening yet also happy news for you out there. Unfortunately, I have been reliably informed that I miscommunicated and that there will not be a best of 3 series to air after this one. However, the positive side is that if you prefer to be watching that series and prefer to listen to some casters whose ears don't make you bleed and make you cringe so much that you are very, very sad indeed, pop over to the Valance League 2 channel and you can go watch that series instead. If you want to stick with us, though, thanks. Someone has to, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, they're all gone. The numbers are all gone.
No, it's going. It's the mass exodus. They've parted the Red Sea. They're leaving for brighter pastures.
Well, regardless of whether we've got anyone out there or not, we're going to be bringing you this game, and I'm really looking forward to it because game 1 was an absolute belter.
And the thing is, I mean, so in fairness, the last cast we did was the finals of European University League of Legends. Actually, very high level stuff, grandmasters, challengers, all this kind of stuff. Casting doesn't always have to be for the perfect League of Legends. Actually, my favorite casts have sometimes been when things are just a little crazy. People are just willing to go a little bit further than is always recommended. And I've had to cast Dark Harvest, Rammus mid. Yes, I have. But I've had some great fun casting just the unhinged madness of the VL.
Well, that's something that I'm hoping we get a little bit more of in what could be 1 or 2 more games. Yet again, we're seeing Lilia banned away, as you said. I was playing that one to great effect recently, so no chance to see it. We're also not going to see Sean Houston's Ezreal. And a quick shout out to Sean Houston, who quickly got in with the dad jokes during the pre-game lobby. And frankly, I was all about that life.
We're seeing the same bans coming out from the blue team now of 7 Deadly Sins. The question is, are Deja Vu actually going to index towards top lane bans? Looks like they're not right now. Caitlyn being removed. Remember last lobby, we saw Deja Vu first pick Trundle. Didn't really work for them. Trundle's not really a first pick champion anymore, and it hindered them quite a long way through the draft. Don't get me wrong, Z-Man had a decent early game, managed to counter gank a fair bit, but then got slowly further and further behind as each play went against him, and he was the one dying in the 1-for-1s. He individually was not the beneficiary of most of the plays, so now I'm looking at, can Deja Vu wrangle themselves into a stronger jungle matchup, or maybe lanes which can support their jungler a bit better?
Well, 7DSS say if it's not broken, don't fix it and keep the bans exactly the same as when they were on red side. We see that one change coming through as the Ezreal is banned out alongside 2 prior bans from Deja Vu. Now we've got to see what is going to be pick of the litter as 7DSS find themselves a first pick.
I didn't even know there was a console after the 3DS. This is a whole revelation for me.
Yeah, Nintendo Switch, buddy. It's great.
Oh, I was going with like 7DS, and I'm like, how many dimensions have Nintendo sold their souls for? Okay, we'll switch around to the talking about the Nautilus. First pick.
That's an interesting one to come through. Already a change to this draft, of course. The Ezreal Bard could no longer be united for 70SS as the Ezreal had been banned away, and instead opting in to a high engaged champion that frankly has been strong for well over a year. Zaya's going to be the immediate counterlock alongside the Rakan.
Okay, so
Did
very
you really
strong TV2.
Sorry to interrupt you. But I very rarely, well, yeah, I'm not sorry at all. It's not too often I go on about a point like this, but do you really need to lock in Rakan there when you could have a secondary high priority and the opposition team's already picked support?
I mean, this was kind of the problem in the first lobby, right? You probably don't need to first pick Trundle. It's not really going to be that high contest, and if it is, it's not like you can't play other champions. I guess the Nautilus could be flexed mid, but that is such a slim chance. I would have really liked to see something like a priority jungler snapped up for themselves there, or just another lane. Maybe they want to pick up priority mid laner, pick up something like the Orianna, which was so good in the last game. Either way, now that both bot lanes are locked in, and they wouldn't have locked in another support anyway. You're right.
In a shock twist, I completely agree with you, Alex. We've got
Hey.
one last pick to come in as 70SS, round things out yet again with the job, and having locked in that Jhin, a champion that I've not had an opportunity to see in competitive play for some time.
He's been cropping up as quite a powerful late game AD carry once he gets to Infinity Edge, Storm Razor, Rapid Fire Cannon, and he's very good in lane versus most of the strong AD carries in the meta right now. Caitlyn, Ashe, Ezreal as well, even Kalista, because a lot of your damage is point and click. So if you get in range of him, he doesn't get the 90 damage, even though like Kalista can hop around something like a Lucian Q or an Ezreal Q, or he can just W someone in the backline like a Caitlyn. I think that Xayah can outtrade a Jhin. I don't think it's the best lane for her because Jhin can be a lane bully. And against the Nautilus too, having that hook into the passive, into the Jhin W, lots of CC, you need to be very respectful.
Of all the champions that I thought we were going to see locked in here by Wukad Chewy for his team, Poppy was not one that even slightly came to mind. Of course, it does give you quite a lot of potential disengage from the job and from the Nautilus. Putting up that steadfast presence has also got that flex potential between jungle and top.
Yeah, so it's actually not a bad lock-in in the state of the draft. It does leave
Oh, I
mid
really
lane
like
to be... It does leave mid lane to be targeted by these next set of bans, but you already have two champions you can deny some of their engage. I mean, you can deny the Jarvan EQ, can't deny the ultimate, that's kind of sad. You can deny half of Nautilus's hook, he will stop slightly further away, maybe outside of auto-attack range, which can be important, because he can't get his passive if the Poppy has put up the W, or just runs into the way of him when he's trying to do stuff.
Yeah, that was also what I meant, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly, yeah, no, absolutely, again, just trying to clarify for people in the stream,
No,
I'm
I
not
very much
quite as
appreciate
big brain as you, Stan. And,
well, we can't
not
all be.
Yeah, not all of us have the most wrinkliest of brains. Yourself has,
or just faces in my case these days. At least I've not got to the point where like I'm washing my face and I have to go a little bit higher each time.
No, hairline is not something I have to worry about just yet. I'll just like wrap my hair around back up to the top of my... You know, I actually haven't had a haircut since I started casting.
Oh, cool. So you haven't had a haircut for 3 months?
It was actually since August. August I haven't had my... my... Wait, does that mean my casts before that don't count? Was I that bad? Don't answer that.
Instead, I will answer the question of what bans are we going to see in Phase 2, Darius and Aatrox both taken out of yourself's champion pool. Of course, we saw the Darius play out very, very nicely last time.
Wait, lock the Veigar! Lock the Veigar!
Mordekaiser and Syndra have been banned away by 70SS. Orianna taken off a rock. This is an opportunity for Wukad Chewy to show what he can do on that champion. The Lissandra, which we saw banned out last time, now being hovered.
If you'd logged in that Veigar, you would have had Poppy Veigar combo. You just charge them into the event horizon, and things go very badly for that one person. Orianna is Division 1. We're talking about it. It is 100% presence in this division. It works in most kind of combos, and it takes it away from the Jarvan combo that 7 Deadly Sins used in that last game. Lissandra, another big AoE team fighter mid laner, though, locked in slightly earlier spikes into the game. You can go Protobelt, you can go for the Ludens, you can go for a various amount of early game presence. And now we're going to have to see whether 7 Deadly Sins can get themselves the explosive team fights early enough into the game to not get outscaled by the likes of Xayah and Orianna in the backline.
Much like the Lissandra that was banned away, the Kled was banned last game. We're going to get to see yourself pick this one up. If you'd been picking there, would you have been counter-picking into the Poppy in the thought that it quite possibly could be going top lane? Or would you have just been picking a good matchup for yourself knowing that there was the flex potential there?
So it's a bit of both. You can't lock it purely for the Poppy matchup. You have to have something which works for your team comp. And in fairness, having a Kled running at you is pretty scary. I would imagine this is going to be Shen top, and then the Poppy in the jungle. It maybe won't be River Shen. I'm sorry, Stan.
I know, it causes me sadness every single time. It is indeed going to be Arbrush playing my favourite champion in the game and trying to restore some of the friendship that we once had, despite the bitter hatred he caused by deleting me as a friend on League.
I really hope he watches this back. I'm just throwing that out there.
I don't know. Cool kids don't look at explosions, so I
Cool
can't.
kids also don't look at Twitch chat, and I am also doing that, unfortunately.
Yeah, but no one's ever claimed for you to be a cool kid, so we're okay.
Yeah, very true. So it's a like, yeah, no, I've
Big same, to be
accepted my
honest.
mantle. I spend my time shouting at video games. That is enough qualifying me as.
The great thing is, I've had like 30 years of not being cool, and suddenly shouting at video games is the thing that makes kids I teach think I'm cool. How ironic!
How did this happen? We're smarter than this.
I think I get
apparently
it.
not.
Accent. Yes, sorry to cut you off there. I just always find that amusing. We've got ourselves that small pause at the beginning of the game, and we are back to you, Alex.
No, it is something to be said, though. You know, I've probably met more people through casting in the last 6 months than I have done through a lot of different stuff over the years. And yeah, it's nice. I think the League community is very accepting of us shouting in our free time in the odd hours of the night to annoy our neighbours.
As long as we're shouting about them positively.
There you go. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Some of them are slightly masochistic, and that's another tendency. Which
that's a whole other story.
That's a whole other story. Why do you think the VL still has us around? You know.
Let
me tell you, if you ever have to cast a Div 4 game, it's gonna be an experience, Dan.
Oh, frankly, that's something I want very, very much. So this is my first opportunity casting for VL, and you never know, could be my last as well, but not if I have my way. Still waiting for the dream of being reunited with Daddy Craddy, but who knows?
Oh, Crowden rules, man. Crowden
maybe
rules.
one day it happens. I was there in like the early days of the birth of Black Rose and stuff being played through. Well, not in the early
The
days.
new era is now,
I was
Stan.
there
Get
at
out.
the Black Rose. I want the Black Rose. Oh no, Ree.
We are...
Somewhere out there, Mammal's still crying.
You know, I just don't. This is the thing, right? We have the new memes, we have the old memes. We've got a big mixing pot. It's like Quickshot and Ender, except I'm not quite as. No, maybe I'm even more weird. I'm thinking about it. It's kind of sad to think about.
I got a lot of time for the old weird champ. Meanwhile, we're getting into this game, and I've got to ask what you think coming into it. We thought somewhat that Seven Deadly Sins Senior had been outdrafted in the last game. We, in a way, were proved wrong by the way that they were able to execute this draft and get the Darius going. What do you think coming into game number 2?
Seven Deadly Sins comp comes online pretty early. If you go for a Luden's Proto Belt onto Lysandra or a Zhonya's earlier in there too, has more teamfight impact than Orianna later. But we saw what Ori did in that last game, right? And we know that Xayah are hyperscales. I think there's a bit of parity between the Jhin and the Xayah, and potentially that Jhin is going to make that Xayah Rakan lane sweat. I think that Seven Deadly Sins need to be off to an early start, though, and get things rolling before the teamfight phalanx of Deja Vu comes into effect, because that Poppy will be very hard to kill with their champions later into the game.
If we get towards that 40-minute mark like we did in game number 1, I definitely think that DV have got a little bit too much to handle, but we'll see if we can see a slightly different style coming out of S7DSS this time around. A Seven Deadly Sins Senior look to extend their winning streak here in Division 1 for the split to 3-0.
And I'd hope to do that with that 2-0 and bump up their match score too, because that's always useful, and we might have a bit of a tiebreaker between those when it does come into playoff scenarios, were it to come to that. And I have to say, looking through the playoffs, in the last split, I managed to cast 2 of them, Div 4 and Div 2, one of which was Deja Vu, who came out on top of that in a crazy game where they managed to finally beat Jaded's Talon, something which hadn't come out for very long in this split. Things do get very close, and you really want to make sure that your practice in the regular season is as good as possible, because it's very relevant. You want to give yourself any kind of advantage going into the later stages of these splits.
I'm intrigued from a purely sort of a spectacle point of view. What is the worst combo in terms of any team in any game of League? It could be ARAM, it could be next splits, it could be anything you like. What's the worst thing you've ever seen?
Okay, I can tell you the worst play I've seen in VL was one of my very first casts, where Lux missed a rooted target with her ult. I was sat there, I'm like...
Sounds like something I'd do, to be fair.
I can't spin that. I just can't spin it. Lux just missed ult on a rooted target.
Even Garen
rooted for like 2 seconds.
Yeah. My all-time worst thing that I've ever encountered was an all-for-one game where both teams played Zoe.
Oh God.
It was
Even the thought of it.
It was legitimately the worst thing I've ever been part of.
Oh,
And
God.
the even worse part of it was I was part of a pre-made 4, and you know how you like do the voting at the beginning?
Yeah.
So-
was it the one person that voted?
So we
that's horrible.
all voted for the same champion. I honestly don't remember what it was now. I think it was Ziggs, and they voted Zoe. And
I've
Zoe,
seen Yumi
sorry,
versus
not Zoe,
Yumi one for all, but
Yumi
that's so
is- Yumi is-
adorably useless.
Oh, it was
then...
just-
Oh, yeah. Yumi versus Yumi is... I mean, one of them has to go AD or tank, and then you've got like a tank Yumi, which is amongst the worst things to ever grace the game of League of Legends. Yeah. Yeah, one for all is it's a hell of a crank.
It sure is. I kind of missed that one. We're obviously
I do
Nexus Blitz lately. That was pretty good fun though. I didn't enjoy it quite this much time as last time round.
I've just been spamming Aria over and over as I do. Although there's one time where yeah, I know, right? Okay, back into game. 10 seconds. Let's do this.
Well, as soon as I'm there, I will let you know. We'll be able to bring you game 2 in this best of 3 series. I've actually successfully managed to pause the game at the first attempt this time. I'm an absolute hero.
What wonderful spectator mechanics you have.
We sure are. And we bring you this game, and once again remind you that feel free to jump in to gamersapparel.co.uk/store/Valance, find some fantastic merch, support the league, and as you do so, make sure you're supporting your favourite teams as well. Perhaps that's 70SS as they look to try and find themselves some early play all going.
Come follow us on Twitter and Twitch.
Don't do that. Just you'll end up seeing loads of stuff about spirit bonds. More interestingly, is this 5-man stack as if they're expecting invade, which isn't coming.
Well, remember last game there was the 5-man stack from Deja Vu. This time...
Alex, I'm a boomer. I don't remember 5 minutes ago.
That's very true. I mean, but I also don't. So we have a person who can't remember 5 minutes ago, and then me who can't remember like the last game we cast, and also doesn't have eyes. I can't look at the minimap. Oh, you know, when a play happens on screen, I am completely taken aback. I just don't know what's happening. That's why I'm not a play-by-play.
My favourite comment of yours recently was, I really wish I could enlarge the minimap. And then someone's like, yeah, you can, just do this. And then you're like, oh, but I can't.
Oh, that's actually good. Wait, I could actually do that.
You can.
Maybe I can't just go. Okay. So I tried to make my laptop a second screen and it failed horribly. So yeah, I was still in the waiting room for that one. I tried so hard.
Oh dear, both of these teams taking things safe, not wanting to give over any early advantages.
Quick, let's deflect from Namara being useless.
It's really hard to do, dude. So we are going to see yet again Ignitar on the Jarvan. It wasn't a real standout performance for me in terms of partially because Rock and Sean and yourself all sort of overshadowed the Jarvan, but it was a steady performance from Ignitar.
Oh no, I was pretty good that last game, but I'd really prefer the Darius.
Arbush taking a bit of damage, not quite able to get Skull to disappear into the oblivion for a little while. Just play. Oh, Arbush! Arbush, we are friends again. Arbush is me. Arbush is me against yourself.
Oh, Surgeon Shen. Oh, cool. Wait, me against yourself. Wow, that's a heck of a. Who would win? Namera or Greyheart? A real fight, no holds barred.
Yeah, I think we both know that's that one, buddy.
Yeah, it depends if Thor and Loki are there. That's the real turning point.
Yeah, they would actually probably help you more than anything. Yeah, Arbush is playing Surgeon Shen, and as a result has not only instantly won lane, but has also instantly won my respect. Jarvan, don't even try and go top, because Arbush has this. He's got it under control. Look at Arbush bravely taunting himself out to safety.
Oh, wow. I mean, Arbush just a dragon amongst men. Look at it. He's almost killed Skull. That would have been like a
Genius
one for
place.
none. What can't this guy do apart from win the Camille Darius matchup?
Apart from the time when he unfriended me.
Yeah. So what can't he do apart from win the Camille Darius matchup?
He actually has managed to unseat yourself. Kled will be without Skull for
I'm still sat down, so. This will happen the entirety of the game. I am sorry, chat. I am so sorry.
Meanwhile, I'm going to just let you take over because Thor appears to be being sick. I'll be right back.
Okay, so solo cast from the mirror. I haven't had to do this one before. 3 minutes in. Normally we start seeing Jarvan trying to make the first look around the map. Of course, we saw that in the top lane. Didn't really lead to much. You see, if it was slightly more boring, I could bring out the Hangman, but it's not quite led to that yet. You see what happened? Stan mentioned that one for all Zoe on both sides, and it wasn't just me. It wasn't, in fact, me just being sick into the microphone. It was Thor. And that's very sad. And I do hope that Thor is okay. It's a lovely dog, as is Loki too. Although, of course, Loki was better at Hangman than Thor in that one particular game. So, bot lane, Zyra Khan doing pretty well, has a 10 CS lead pushing in, has that priority, as we like to call it, means that they have the first option to roam because the enemy team is stuck wave clearing under turret. However, they're not going to use that to roam. What they're going to use that to do is bring Poppy into that lane and see if Nautilus would go for an opportunistic play. Jhin actually firing a W into that brush, nearly clipping Z-Man. Would have been a nice bit of scouting, and we know how much jungle scouting can be very important, particularly right now, because we know that Jarvan is trying to make a play mid lane, and they are going to go into Orianna.
What kind of Chewy doing what he can, flashing away from the flag and drag. The knock-up will not connect to tower shot. It's going to hit onto Ignitara, and again, kind of Chewy is able to put the orb down, getting some good damage down. Glad to report that Thor is alive and well. My sock less so.
I was about to say, what did he eat? Was it a living thing? Was it a plant, or was it an inanimate object?
I believe it was plant-based. As we see, the taunt is going to connect. Yourself having to flash away. Arbush looking for the kill, burning his own flash, securing first blood. What a hero!
And was it ever in question? The Surgeon Shen digs the scalpel deep, and that's not technically what you do with scalpels. Either way, he surgically removes Kled from top lane. Oh god. You know, I actually I did QA testing for the for Bossa, the studio which did that. Yeah, they're in London, and I'm a game developer, so yeah, I did some QA.
Poppy looking towards topside. Kled having to be careful. Has got Scarl back for company. Can dash away. We can get caught out by the steadfast presence. The knock into the wall, the stun, the taunt, all going to connect. The lair CC is beautiful. Yourself, of course, does not have a flash. Is able to get himself to safety courtesy of a shotgun blast. As we see Lissandra joining the fray. Not quite level 6. Does not have the ultimate available. Arbush still going to die in this situation. However, Z-Man Jr. is the one sent scurrying away to the safety of an on-rushing Orianna.
Closely run thing, though, but with the remount coming in, Z needs to be very careful here. I don't think you want to take that fight. Oh, he just gives Skull back. Okay, Skull's back. Yay.
Just in case you weren't sure if he was there or not.
Good, yeah. Like, you know, I was, you know, I do have ears. I don't have eyes. That's the one problem.
Sorry, my bad.
Anyway, it has the sound cue. Actually, Kled has great sound design.
He does, actually, yeah. I have to completely agree with that.
I try to think what my favorite
Nautilus?
things like that are. I think that Scion ult, very, very good. Just that one gong hit, that's very cool. And then of course there's the Kled ult too and the Kled remount. I think both those are very, very cool sound effects. And again, it's just like they've become so synonymous with their champions that you hear it and you immediately know what's happening. It's a very good way of getting across information.
I thought for a moment that Intel was going to start that dragon up, instead opting just to clear out the vision. Perhaps we'll eventually start this one out with his bot lane rotating towards him.
Save the dragon. Don't kill it. Conservation of dragons.
That's neutral objective going over.
Did you know there are only 5 dragons?
Going over to 7 DSS. Oh no, Z-Man Jr. is in all sorts of trouble going
play by play, Stan. Play by play.
As Viking picks up the kill onto Lamps, that's going to be the shockwave pulling back Sean Houston. He went so long without dying in the first game, and this time he doesn't survive till the 7-minute mark. The dragon is now going to be started up, but it's going to be Deja Vu who find themselves that neutral objective.
Really like how Akadachu puts the ball way past Sean Houston, so even when he flashes out, he's in range for the shockwave. It catches him, and that spells the death of the Jhin. The heal was not committed. Probably wouldn't have saved him either way. And no, they're not conserving the dragons. This is horrible. Extinction of a mighty race of beasts.
This is indeed an
I'm so sad.
level of event. There's a 1,000 gold lead already been built up by Deja Vu. They had slightly the better of the early game last time around as well and weren't able to make it pay off, as we saw people like Rock, Sean Houston, yourself getting stronger and stronger. Let's see if this time around Deja Vu can have a better time of it.
And we said that we kind of needed 7 Deadly Sins to come out to an early lead because they have a comp which comes online at that point and they want to be snowballing ahead so they're hyper-engaged with the Kled, Lissandra, Jarvan, and Nautilus can just delete the target and then move on with a numbers disadvantage, something like that. Now that you're kind of behind, you know, you lost a dragon, 1,000 gold down, you're definitely behind to this kind of comp. The Xayah might survive through the initial engage. The Orianna going Seraphs probably will do. I love what he's doing with this wave. He's making sure that he's not in a position to get ganked very well. Lissandra has to walk up to wave clear. Wakadachi can just sit and farm happily in that mid lane. This is going very well for Deja Vu right now.
McIntyre yet again continuing his trend of taking early game blue buffs and making sure that Lysandra has to wait on this one. However, going to be pretty safe for now. Herald has now spawned, so McIntyre might start this one up. Remember, last time round we saw it Z-Man Jr. who started up, but he's busy taking away a red buff and losing half his health to that. So maybe it's going to be Jarvan able to secure this one. But if the vision is going to come through, it's going to spot Jarvan out. He's got to be very, very careful here.
Just remember, this is where things went wrong for Deja Vu last time. Half health Poppy, this is Lysandra. I don't think you can contest this.
Well, you say that, but with Arbush walking down the river, it's actually McIntyre who has to get himself out to safety lest he get collapsed on like Z-Man Jr. did last time round.
I'm going to throw it out there. There's a tier Orianna, and you have a Kled that can just ult onto the half-health Poppy who doesn't have flash. I think you go for that play every time. This is the kind of point, and look, they're starting it back up. This is how it starts.
This is the one you were talking about. Rock getting himself out, finding the first kill as yourself takes down Z-Man Jr. Cataclysm going to lock onto Wakanda, Chewy, and to Arbush as they try to turn the kills around. Ignitar's going to die to Arbush, who manages to get himself yet another one. He goes in, he looks for more onto Arbush, but the shotguns are firing fast. Wakanda, Chewy obliterates Rock's health as a double kill comes in for Arbush. That's my man Arbush on Surgeon Shen, making the best champ in the game play his tune.
Yes. And you too can be as good as Wakanda Chewy, the person who got 2 triple kills and kept himself alive through that, if you DM me and watch my stream. You know, that's actually the real difference maker here. I'm sorry, I know it's a conflict of interest, but, you know, sometimes you just got to take those competitive advantages.
It's nice that you have some
Back to you, Stan.
Something I'm interested by is the fact that we're seeing a very different build coming in for the Orianna than we did for when Rock played it last time round. We saw straight into the Ludens last time round, whereas the early tier being picked up by Wakanda Chewy.
So I've spent a lot of time covering Vietnam and LPL, who love to go aggressive on the Oriannas and they never build this item. But you look at this comp, you know that there's a certain threshold of damage that they can reach in the late game because they're not great scaling champions. Jarvan not going for AD, which also falls off in its own way because it gets deleted so quickly. The Lysandra goes for Protobelt, that's nice, but it's not as slot efficient as something like a Deathcap or a Ludens. Kled has to find his way through a Poppy first, which means that if Orianna is only set upon by one champion out of these guys, which is likely to happen 1 or 2, that Theros shield might soak up enough damage that this team can turn it around in the counter engage with something like a Shockwave. The feathers from Zaya too. I very much like this item.
Okay, well, let's see when that one gets complete.
Good enough for you, Stan.
Whether it... Well, no, I honestly, I asked because I was interested. You gave me an answer. I can't ask for more than that. I mean, could have asked for it from someone different, but that would have been, you know, far too much to ask for. Any chance of Sam joining us at any point?
I mean, I could call him. I could. I'm sorry. I'll try and do better next time, Stan.
Can you imagine?
I'll try and do better, Stan.
Just a tricast of you two sitting next to each other.
I mean, technically, it is possible. It could happen. The future beckons.
One day, Wakanda Chewy using the cleanse, keeping himself alive despite Rock coming in with the Glacial Tomb. It's going to be a little while now before he's got that one coming off cooldown. Sorry, the Frozen Tomb. And yeah, we've got to keep our eyes on if Lysandra is able to stay safe now. Still hasn't completed the Proto Belt, still hasn't got the flash available, relying purely on that Frozen Trail.
Ow. And Wakanda Chewy's, like I said, I love what he's doing with his wave. He's not over-pushing. It's something we saw in the Syndra, kept him safe from the Jarvan the last time. He's doing it in this game. Has to blow the cleanse, sure, but it's not the longest cooldown summoner. And he's still just safely farming. And now without the Lysandra ult, those engages are not going to sting quite as badly for the next minute or 2.
We do see a lot of dancing around the Herald, as it does seem like Deja Vu really want to take this one, but instead it's going to be Rock who's caught onto, but with Ignitar here for support, Wakanda Chewy's got to be very, very careful. Stand United coming down on top of the Orianna, who inside of the Cataclysm is safe as it gets. Arbush now 5, 1, and 2. Everything you saw yourself doing in the last game, Arbush is doing better on a nicer champion.
And it's on the knife's edge, or maybe the scalpel's edge. It's coming in clutch. Shen, remember what we were saying about that Lysandra ult not being available? Really showed it there. Wakanda Chewy managed to survive. Had a good couple of hundred HP, but it would have got very, very close if that ult were still available. So just knowing the limits very well, Deja Vu very firmly ahead in this early game.
And on the pickup there, we see the Dragon going over. That is going to be Poppy able to score this one nice and easily for the team. And Ocean Dragon going on top of the Cloud Dragon already secured. And we find out exactly what Rift we are going to be seeing as we see yet again Arbush and yourself duking it out. A potential mountain buff would be very nice for Arbush, and that would be something to even more so negate some of the damage coming out of 7 DSS. Arbush just isn't scared of anything, basically. He's just a beast, and he's playing a great champion, and I'm not going to stop talking about how much I like him.
So, Stan, you know how You know how I'm a bit of a simp for Ari. You know that. And you know how, like, I've been berated for that for literally my entire career when I've cast with you. So, how's it going with Shen over there, Stan?
Come back to me
how's
when
that
you've
looking?
dressed up as Ari at multiple conventions.
You know, I have actually been asked to do that now.
Yes, but come back to me when you've actually.
When I've done, okay, right. So that's my next like Spirit Blossom quest. That's the thing. Do I get like a masterwork chest for that? What's happening with? What's the payoff?
You get the secret emote, which is all that you've ever wanted. I have to say, to this day, one of my favorite League of Legends moments is going to League Fest at Insomnia, and purely because I was wearing the Surgeon Shen outfit, getting picked to play a stage game, where I was told by a friend of mine who was playing in the team opposite, I had to play Surgeon Shen.
Okay.
And I was playing in the jungle, and I hadn't actually played Rework Shen at that point.
How'd that go, Stan?
I went deathless and ended up having to do an interview on stage. We won the game against a bunch of rioters. It was wonderful.
Sometimes you shoot your shot and it hits. Nice job.
Yeah. Sometimes double spammy cinders and get flamed by medic. Or in this case, the artist formerly known as Sona.
And speaking of Surgeon Shen, going to be trading heavily in the top side once again. Titanic Hydra first, and he's trading pretty okay.
We do see
Maybe
the
not,
jungle collapsing in. It is going to be Z-Man arriving first, meaning yourself has to separate. In goes the flag and drag, but that's going to be the stun connecting onto yourself. He flashes away, knowing he hasn't got Skull. This is a very, very aggressive play, immediately met by the hammer from Poppy, who throws down the Trilling Smite onto yourself, who still has to be so careful with Skull not present. Beautiful disengage coming in from Z-Man Jr.
About to say, really good use of the Keeper's Verdict, but they're not out of the woods just yet.
Not quite yet. Rock still looking for the connection. Has the ultimate available, but not in range to throw it down. Going to see the first turret of the game is going to be secured. That's the first real objective that we are seeing. 7DSS finding for themselves a stronger. Find themselves a knockup, but immediately gets caught by the dredge line, by the knockup. Throws out the quickness, takes a turret shot and dies. Absolutely lamps the opposition support. And despite the Stand United coming down, things are going from bad to worse. Now it's the ADC that's caught out. Viking flashing himself away. Rock's there with the damage. 1, 2, 3, 4 shots will miss onto Viking, so in the end it's going to be Rock who takes the kill all for himself. Meanwhile, Herald is being secured, but that is a piteous consolation for Deja Vu.
We were asking whether we'd see Jax into the Camille in the last game, and we may just see it this game because you're hitting them with the lamp. That's the Nautilus hooking at the turret. Oh,
Z-Man Jr.'s got the moves. Flash out from McNutar. He flags and drags himself out to safety. Z-Man Jr. says there's no safety here. I've got a flash. I'm chasing you for days. Poppy, 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 kill.
And pop. He goes the Weasel Jarvan goes down. It doesn't even get this Herald for it. They pick up themselves another neutral objective, even though the fight went against them in the bot lane.
That really should never have happened, but happened. It did. Now Z-Man Jr. will have the Herald available. Of course, turret plates have long ago fallen off as Rock goes aggressive. Charge, says Skull, but he doesn't manage to find his way onto Orianna.
And Rock, being the mythical bird of great dimensions, finds nothing but air with his engage there. Doesn't end up getting in range for, well, he didn't have his ultimate anyway, so kind of a bit of nothing. Everything out of 7 Deadly Sins there. Now they've lost their charge from the Skull. It's Kled, that's the champion. I guess it's from Skull. I guess he's the one that's actually doing the legwork. But yeah!
Yeah, I was glad you didn't call me out on the fact that I said that Skull said it. It is Skull doing it, but it was Kled saying it. But
you know that Skull is actually, by law, indestructible.
Yes, yes, I did. Beast. Which is just wonderful why he runs away.
No, he's timid, but technically is indestructible. Yeah. So far as I've heard.
Yeah, there's all sorts of fun stuff about Kled, which we may come back to in a moment as we kind of chew. He has to burn the flash. The cleanse still available, so is the shockwave. A third dragon of the game is going to be spawning soon. Last game, we saw Deja Vu getting the first 3 dragons and then giving away 4 consecutive infernals. Will they be able to do better this time around with the mountains?
That is a fine question. I guess it's worth talking about itemization as we talk into that then. Coming into this fight, first item's complete for everyone. No Seraphs yet. This is the point in the game where 7 Deadly Sins probably are going to be doing very well in their team fights. Their composition spikes at 1-2 items. Herald now in the bot lane, if they take down this turret, maybe gives them another angle to approach this third dragon spawn.
Well, the dragon has already been focused down. It's going to go straight over, so there's no chance here for any contesting. We are going to see Z-Man able to step himself away from the dredge line, at least not giving over any kills in return, and the turret is going to be the cost that is paid. by 7DSS as they do get themselves that first Mountain Dragon. Will they be able to repeat history and find 4 in a row to get that Mountain Soul?
I think they might lose top lane turret too. So that's a 2 turret trade for just the dragon. Take the next wave actually, but without the charge, I think. Oh wow, that's actually a lot of turret damage across the entire map for the cost of 1 dragon. That's not bad as far as it goes.
It's just waiting for Ignitar to go aggressive there. It felt like a potential collapse was coming in. A 7DSS maybe could look for that team fight that you were referring to just a moment or so ago. They have to be careful, of course, due to Arbush's Stand United and no teleport available for yourself, who would have a charge, but would certainly take much, much, much longer than his fellow top lane to arrive in a fight.
3 turrets for a dragon. That's the final cost. We see the top lane outer go down, so the entire outer ring of turrets is gone. Actually, this might be a potential trap for Deja Vu, because the map is now very, very open, and if they overpush, this player, Lysandra Jarvan, can over-engage into them, just run into their backline, because they haven't set up the vision control. Oh, we've got to fight in top lane.
Swamp connects onto yourself. He steps out to safety. The Predator was triggered by Poppy, so going to be missing out on the Keystone availability for a little while. As we see the blue buff being stolen away by Wakanda, who is having a really great game.
This is it. You know, he wasn't given the blue buffs in game 1. He got there a little bit later.
This is Z-Man Jr. playing tough love, and this is where it pays off.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So whenever you deny your mid laner a blue buff in the future, that's why. You know, it's if they're ahead in the game, they don't need blue buff, and if they're behind in the game, they don't deserve it. And in this game, Karachu gets tired of that bullcrap logic, and he takes it for himself.
We are just approaching the 20-minute mark. Baron will be spawning very, very soon. The gold lead has expanded to around about 2,500, still in favour of Deja Vu. The team who we thought were going to settle for scaling up and looking towards the late game, taking some early game advantages, finding themselves 3 turrets to just the 1 in response. However, looking towards the key carries, there's only a 200 gold disparity between the ADCs. You have to look towards mid lane, where's there's that near 1,000 gold lead for Wakanda Chewy.
But also remember that Orianna, when she's ahead, is halfway between the carry and the utility. Those shields are going to be important. Put down to the Poppy. She survives in the front line locker. Same goes to the Shen, right? The amount of resist they have, if they manage to pick up Mountain Drakes alongside an Orianna shield, will be very hard to cut through. One thing, speaking of those dragons, remember that last fight? We saw that 3 tower trade effectively, at least finishing off a lot of low HP towers. Those are the words. I think that's very important because 7 Deadly Sins had a team comp which we said, hey, they're really strong at this point in the game. They chose not to take the fight at that point, get themselves advantages elsewhere, still make it an early trade, and not commit to a fight which might have been questionable.
One player who, for me, is performing excellent so far in this game is Lamps on the Nautilus. Admittedly, it would be nice if those 2 kills had perhaps gone towards a carry, but even so, Lamps finding some really nice hooks. I'm still looking for Stronger to step up on this Rakan. I feel like there's so many fascinating plays to come out of this champion.
I know that Nautilus does pretty well into Rakan. You can hook him out of his W, but if you hit that hook before he reaches his W location, it gets a little bit awkward. And then if you put the passive and the ultimate onto Rakan and just lock him in place, the rest of the CC, particularly from Lysandra, is going to make his life very, very difficult. Speaking of him, they might be looking for a fight in bot lane.
Which is interesting because obviously we saw that first pick of the Nautilus. So this was Viking and Stronger opting into this duo against that specific champion.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we saw a very early lock-in of that. And fighting again in the top lane, I guess we'll talk about that. Could go pretty long.
Arbush and yourself, this is more than just a wet noodle fight, and it's Arbush who's losing out this time, trying to trade back, but I think he's in all sorts of trouble. Taunt's going to connect onto yourself. Arbush trying to flash himself out to safety. The flash follow is there. Here comes the Poppy, though, and dunking the hammer straight down onto yourself, finding the kill. Even the protection coming in from the Orianna. Meanwhile, the push continues. You saw a rotation coming out of 4 members of 7DSS as they tried to maybe get towards the Kled. Now they turn their attention back towards the bot lane, but they've done this split. The root is going to connect onto Sean, who has to flash out, and still Viking finds himself the kill. The Featherstorm already used, and Viking is taking turret damage. He's taking damage from all sources. Stand United is going to be triggered. It's not going to follow all the way through, however, and we're going to see Stronger taking so much damage. Sorry, the Stand United did come through, and now Arbush is in all sorts of trouble as the double kill has come in for Rock. Meanwhile, Orianna, Poppy, they're continuing to push in the top lane. They're going to get themselves at least a turret. Arbush dodging himself away from the frozen trail, finding himself a shield, trying to find a kill, unable to do so. Lamps is on a killing spree. That's the Nautilus we all know and love. Meanwhile, turret goes down the top lane, but at what cost? We've got a 3,000 gold lead now for Deja Vu.
Would it be the VLPL if we didn't have a Doinby playing the carry Nautilus? Of course it wouldn't be. 3 for 2, all things said and done. As far as I'm aware, bot lane both died, Arbush died. They traded it back for the bot lane. Yeah, they did. They traded it back for a couple onto the side of 7 Deadly Sins too, but it's just before that dragon. You have a teleport available from the Shen, but now there's one from Lysandra.
Lysandra's going to come in. Shen isn't alive for another 5 seconds. Not going to be able to join the fight already. Stun onto the wall. Lysandra having to flash out to safety is going to get obliterated by Orianna, who in turn gets taken down by Jhin, who shouts 4 and finds himself 1 kill. Now Arbush has joined with the teleport, looking to find the taunt. He's going to connect straight onto Kled, and without Skarl, there's not a lot he can do to stop Stronger being the stronger supportal combatter, and it's going to be Arbush trying to block up as many of these shots as possible. Actually, Stronger eating up 2 of the shots before Arbush takes the final shot of the curtain call. The dragon going down. It's going to be a 3rd dragon to be secured by the Poppy. That was Jarvan dashing in, trying to find a steal, finding only his grave.
I'm going to throw it out there. With Ignitar dead, maybe this gives a chance, a window of opportunity to try and go towards the Baron. You know there's no teleport on Lysandra. Looks like they're not going to be that bold. They're just going to push out mid instead.
I kind of would have liked to have seen that play come through, if I'm perfectly honest, having burned those teleports. However, it is going to be the reset coming in.
I think the worry is you have a teleport on the Kled who has ult. You're a red side team, which means that you need to get out of Baron the long way around, which is kind of awkward. And there's still the Depth Charge and the Glacial Prison. Frozen Tomb? That's the one. Glacial Prison is still running on.
I know, I made the mistake earlier myself.
There's that one. And then, isn't there another one?
Glacial Fissure is Braum.
Glacial Fissure.
And Glacial Storm is Anivia.
Yeah, I mean, at least they're all keeping kind. It's like having a dress.
I think I'm right on that. I could be wrong on 1 or 2 of those, but I'm pretty sure.
I think that sounds about right. I am not an Anivia player myself. I have played against it enough, but I know them as QWE now. I mean, that's what I do as a color caster. I leave you to recognize that stuff. Yeah, I don't need to do my homework right.
To be honest, like, it's an interesting argument that a lot of people make in regards to names. Personally, I like knowing the names. For me, there are some people who actually find it a lack of clarity, and I apologize if you're one of those out there who hears me say a spell name and goes, I don't have a clue what that means for the terms of the game. Is that Wakanda Chewy's art? Now, I know most of you know Shockwave, but I personally like it. I think it adds something. That being said, I do feel very sorry for the group of friends that I was at MSI with, who during every single queue, I would get them to do a particular Sporkle quiz where I had to listen. They had to listen time and time again to me having to say every single one of they recited them to me. So yeah, that's how we know them now. So big thanks to Sarah for that one.
Nice. I like knowing the ability names. It's just, yeah, I learn them better if I play it myself, and it's just sometimes patchy, and I don't want to put in the effort at that certain point in time. It's really annoying with the Phalios, right? I learned his gun names, and then I realized each of his Qs has a different name, and I'm like, well, that noise. I don't want to do anything to do with that. Get out of here.
That's your best peep of the day. That one was good. I like that.
You see, this is what happens. You're mean to me 9
as well. Yeah.
You're mean to me 9 times out of 10, and then just leave that one carrot. It's like, okay, right, we'll give you something to work with. We can't have you just bailing on the cast.
Oh, you know I'd never do that to you.
Of course not.
You know I
do I? I'm left in suspense, Stan. Left in suspense.
Also, suspense filled is this game coming closer and closer towards the 30-minute mark. Both of these teams having plenty of completed items coming through. However, there is still that 4,000 gold advantage for Deja Vu, and it still feels like it's going to be tough for 7DSS to find themselves their way back into this game. I also don't see a world in which they prevent Deja Vu from actually getting sold this time round, something they did so well in the last game.
Well, that's going to be the big moment, isn't it? It's going to be, can you get onto Viking with Chewy in that big dragon fight, for that soul fight? But you have to do that without having taken down bot lane outer turret and mid lane outer turret. So trying to teleport in or get a flanking opportunity from Lysandra and Kled is going to become very, very hard. Shen is pushing in the side lanes. That also doesn't help too. You have double globals on him. He will have his teleport up for that fight too. So they have a good chance to Deja Vu to allocate around the map and make sure that they have a lot of safety as long as their vision control is on point for this soul fight, which of course, as you were saying, might just change the game.
There are double globals on that one champion. However, something that does play out slightly nicer for 7DSS is the fact that they have got double teleports themselves between the Kled and Sandra. So at least they've got multiple people who can try and match Shen if he's going to split push and then want to join a fight. Obviously, Wakanda Chewy, on the other hand, has shown us just how crucial that cleanse can be time and time again.
this is the thing. If he manages to cleanse into Seraphs and then walk away with a shield in the distance, try and buy some space, this Orianna can tank up a lot of cooldowns, which might be needed to one-shot someone else if they had gone into a Viking instead. Or just because Wakadachui spaces himself well and just says, like, okay, I'm not going to get hit by the next Q or whatever, because I cleanse, can be very, very important to make sure that he can come around to his second round of cooldowns.
Oh, that's that horrible moment there for Sean where he realizes just how
little I don't do damage
an auto attack does to this Poppy, who's getting closer and closer to completing 4 mil. Less than a minute left on this Dragon. I do want to shout out to these two teams how impressed I am at the relative safety they have played this game in. Very few pick opportunities coming through from missteps through jungles. Both teams playing safe, playing things slow, and it's really, really nice. So you can see why these two teams are up there at the top of the league in the early stages.
20 seconds to go towards Dragon, though. Maybe this is not the time for safety. Nortol and Clad.
Poppy is looking for the pick. That's that's Poppy getting picked up on, flashing away. But despite all of the shields, is going to die. Arbush even using the stand united. However, it's not going to follow through. And now the fight going down with the Featherstorm is inside the Cataclysm. Biting up outside of it as Wakadachui finds a massive shockwave. It's going to be another kill coming over as the ADC finds one and throws one to the support as well. Throwing over a bone. Lissandra trying to get to safety away from the Shen, who of course did not join that fight. And all that is left is for Deja Vu to pick themselves up what they could not attain last time, a free soul.
It is 30 minutes into this game. This team comp keeps one item, not two. Gonna see if Jin can steal something. Doesn't manage to get it.
No, maybe could have found the kill onto Stronger, but instead he's now just found himself without a single rock to step onto. Viking takes down his opposition ADC and gives a further power play to his team, and now the red side team can potentially look towards Baron.
It could do, and we said that 7 Deadly Sins peak at one item. That's when you really want to go, when your ultimates are first available. Make sure you take apart Deja Vu across the map, try and get onto that backline before it gets to the point where they have multiple mountain dragons and some defensive items to boot. There was a Jarvan ult onto Viking, and he just stood and auto-attacked. He didn't even have to use his ultimate until he wanted to use it for damage. But then the shockwave comes through as all of the engage and mobility tools had been used from 7 Deadly Sins. Wakadachui wraps up that fight nicely, and they didn't even need Poppy to tank for them for most of it.
Let's talk about Shen. We've got an adaptive. We've got the Sunfire Cape. We've got the Titanic Hydra on top of Ninja Tabby. And right now there seems to be no stopping Arbush, who's just had an absolutely phenomenal game. To echo yourself's great performance on Darius in the first game. If this series is to go to 3 games, which it's looking more and more likely to potentially do, I think that the battle between those top laners will be a fascinating one to watch.
Arbush has smurfed in a lot of series. Okay, just a hook and leading into nothing. And yeah, I think that Shen has nullified this lane really, really well. And Z-Man has had a much better game. The top side of the map, very stable this time around, and it has allowed the rest of the map to just scale up into teamfights.
Now it's starting that Baron dance once more. We haven't seen Deja Vu able to pick themselves up a Baron through this series so far, narrowly missing out on one, which we saw Rock securing with the Orianna in the last game before managing to find themselves a wipe. They themselves will be hoping to be able to put this objective to good use should they be able to secure that buff. Shen is very much
dogs agree.
Thor and Loki are so excited about this game right now. Words can't even explain it. That's why they're barking.
This is the thing. This is the thing with the dogs, you know, like they just okay, we're fine.
Yeah, Poppy finds the stun. That's going to be a big trouble for Rock, who is going to get locked in place by his own ultimate, taking the blast cone over to relative safety. We've already seen the Keeper's Verdict used by Z-Man Jr. We're seeing the turn as the teleports are still available. Remember, for yourself, for Rock, they will have an opportunity to try and join this fight. Here comes the first of those teleports. Lissandra's completing the recall, will have the second teleport available. Kled's coming in, Shen's following, still keeping the stand united available rather than the teleport. Interestingly enough, the disengage comes through as the Baron is not opted into, but Z-Man Jr. might have just found out short, not able to get himself quite in range of the ADC, dashing forward, finding one shot. The root's going to connect onto the Z-Man as Arbush tries to find the taunt, but is unable to do so. Charge comes in as yourself delivers Ignitar straight onto the backline, but is unable to rip through the health bars. In return, however, the health bars are well and truly decimated for 70SS. They lose almost everybody. Sean is the only one to escape the doomed fate of the rest of his team, and now it could well be Deja Vu looking to push forward, looking to end this game. They take themselves the inhibitor turret. They immediately step towards the inhibitor, and with 30-second death timers on their carries, I'm not sure there's anything Sean can do to stop this game. Those who don't learn from the past are doomed to repeat it. There will be no Deja Vu for Deja Vu as they find themselves the second game in this series. They level up the scoreline and they take us to a decider.
do. And who needs a Baron when you got yourself a good old 5v5 team fight? Comes out trumps for Deja Vu and even up the series.
They absolutely do. And what another great game we had. 32 minutes this time on the clock, less than our last one came in at, but still a great game to watch. This one, however, felt considerably more decisive than the last.
Big thing for me was Arbush, like we said, not being in a losing top lane matchup. This guy has been so pivotal to Deja Vu. He ended up with the most kills this game, by the way, on a Shen. He was 7-3 and 9.
I mean, yeah, it's the best champion of the game. I keep telling you this.
You know,
why are you surprised?
Scalpel's hurt. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, go on.
You know how you get to do the MVP?
Yes.
If you don't pick Shenbush, then I'm leaving.
I really want to give it to Ricardo Chewy. Zoriana was really nice.
Who are you giving the MVP to?
Good job, Arbush. Good. Yay.
Shenbush.
Yay, Shen.
We are going to be bringing you the third game in this best of 3 series very, very shortly. However, we've got to take a moment to compose ourselves for the teams to prepare themselves to duke it out in battle on the Rift one last time. Please stick with us for that final game of the evening. It'll be coming to you after this short break.
Pacing inside of a room, I feel like everything has been falling apart. I put my heart and my soul in this shit, but I don't think that anyone notices it. I never sleep, I just don't have the time. I can't relax it, I gotta go get it. My mind has been playing an integral part in the monster that I have become. But where you from? Not where they call for belong, not where they carry your gun. I'm from a place where these niggas procrastinate, make an excuse why this shit never happened. Oh no, not me, I will not be distracted inside of a prison that I have created from lack of an effort. Will not be your captive, I cannot submit. If I quit, I admit that the data was right. I would like to be better than what I am currently. Currency comes, but that's if you're committed. I'm giving you everything that I got. It's a shot that I take. If I make it, just know it's a process. My progress is all that I think about. I still remember when you niggas laugh. All I do is working, I don't see nobody else. So what the hell is competition? I don't wanna fucking up. You niggas say that you got it, but man, I seriously doubt it. We showing lyrical prowess with the content. I'm very adamant. I plan to master this, making the most of the time that I got. Cause I'm young at the moment, I won't be forever. I need to focus and do nothing else. It's an affirmation, I repeat to myself. I pray to God that I keep it together. Can't sell myself for no diamonds and gold. I'm as cold as they come, I do not need no friends. I could do this alone, I will not accept help. I got faith in the path that I've chosen for sure. I want the legacy, not the allure. Misleading illusions and not for the boy.
Something I want, and I feel like I'm sprinting, feel like I'm running, I'm going in circles. Said I'm going in circles. Here we go.
Loud, knowledge, nigga. What you know about 48-hour binges, depriving myself of rest just to achieve. Hope this shit work, I don't ever plan B. And I fucked if it don't, man, I need to proceed and believe or concede. But I'll never concede and I work at a speed that no one's ever seen. I'm a hypochondriac, I like isolation. I do not relate to the shit that I hear, but I fear that I'll change if you hear in my lane. And I'll knock you right out of it quick to correct. If you think that I won't, got a noose in the trunk in a place for your body. But before I mutilate, make sure I separate my intent is manic. My mood is depressed, I'm regressing. Now I've been suppressing emotions, I'm mostly aggressive. I'm pressing my pen on the paper, my target is anyone thinking they're greater. Can't nobody do it with this side of this motherfucker respond. I shut it down, I want it now when I bet it. I'm finna get it. Who the fuck is gonna stop me? You listening to a second type of nigga definitive when I get it. I'm a villain on the MIC. I need more YVs. Intravenous lyrics, they coming out of MD. I know when to envy, I swear that I'm not. You do not know what I've been through, but listen, I promise you'll never imagine. I'm asking for silence, at least for a second. I'm asking my pain in a way that's a proper regard. I sacrifice that to the Lord. Man, I got faith in the path that I've chosen for sure. I want the legacy, not the allure. You're misleading illusions and not what the boy. God bless, motherfucker.
I'm running, I'm going in circles. Said I'm going in circles. Here we go.
Every time I think I gotta go, cause if you seek then you gotta know, bitches they only care about the flow, come on you know how the story go. This the shit that never run and they always pretending, acting kinda sinning. They mind what I'm bending, just imagine like Lennon that we living like long division. My vision is risen, shout out my homie in prison. Shit is deeper than an incision on the lower level. Word of the devil, I can feel the trouble inside, telling me what to do, I never abide. Feel the vibe, the second we ride, you know we know just how to do it. My style, they can never renew it, I bet they know it. Every time I think I gotta go, cause if you seek then you gotta know, Bitches, they only care about the flow. Come on, you know how the story go. Every time I think I gotta go. Cause if you see, then you gotta know. Bitches, they only care about the flow. Come on, you know how the story go.
She came with a couple of friends, tell them to come on in. I was wondering, do you need someone to fill you in? On the reg, nigga, don't get no fuck about when you mad at me. I'm hitting that pussy, stand up on the wall like ain't no gravity. King Chip is what? Get observation. He gon' keep living while you keep observating. Is that even the word? No, but is you hating? Language is the art, so when I talk, I'm creating a whole new way to live, way to think, way to feel. And let these bitch ass niggas know they fuck with me, they gon' get killed. They gon' run, put that on my son, nigga, don't get no fuck. All the nigga know is bad luck, bad luck. Know a nigga getting to these ends while I can, though. Working towards more happiness than I can handle. Light a candle, South Africa at the Saxon. My door's open, we smoking, chillin', relaxing.
Every time I think I gotta go. Cause if you see, then you gotta know. Bitches, they only care about the flow. Come on, you know how the story go. Every time I think I gotta go. Cause if you see, then you gotta know. Bitches, they only care about the flow. Come on, you know how the story go. I see through these motherfuckers like CAT scans. And if they talking back, I just give them the backhand. Think I work for Apple the way I give them the Mac, man. Only partially ballin', motherfuckers is Pac-Man. Goddamn, I'm just playing. Don't pay attention to what I'm saying. Everything just a part of my plan. Cause really I ain't shit, I'm just a man. Chillin' in my city, spending money like Diddy. Hundreds and fifties, I'm spitting gritty while you sitting pretty. Who fucking with me? First name Bobby, but I spit that crack like I was Whitney. Started as a hobby, but who knew back then what this shit would get me? And now they all up on the scrotum. The second I told them these lyrics I wrote them, acting like I owed them. Not a lot of people understand my words cause I encode them. Now these bitches give me the top of the totem. Allow me to break it down, I feel like I'm breaking down till I hit the mic and cook up the shit that I'm making now. Kinda like Quentin Tarantino, me's only built for Cuban links, Gambinos at the casino, blowing my nose with a C-note. Some people call me Robert cause I'm all about the dinero. You talk a lot of shit, that's why you sound like a culero. You fucking battle, my lyricism is fatal, mendejo. All up in my business while I'm just trying to get the queso. Life is about the peso, in English that means the money. And if your buzz is as big as mine, you'll get all the honeys like. Every time I think I gotta go, cause if you see, then you gotta know. Bitches, they only care about the flow. Come on, you know how the story go. Every time I think I gotta go. Cause if you see, then you gotta know. Bitches, they only care about the flow. Come on, you know how the story go.
Time when I was alone, nowhere to go and no place to call home. My only friend was the man in the moon, and even sometimes he would go away too. Then one night as I closed my eyes, I saw a shadow flying high. He came to me with the sweetest smile, told me he wanted to talk for a while. He said, Peter Pan, that's what they call me. I promise that you'll never be lonely. And ever since that day,
Peter Pan, that's what they call me. I promise that you'll never be lonely. Peter Pan, that's what they call me. I promise that you'll never be lonely. Peter Pan, that's what they call me. I promise that you'll never be lonely. In these fast times, chasing lifelines for a lifetime. I've had my heart in the right place at the wrong time with the right girl in another world. Maybe we would be together still. If you hear this and resent that, I don't give a shit, I'll let it spill. I don't give a damn, I'll keep it real. Cause by now I hope you know the drill. I would never lie, young forever, I ain't never gonna die. Told me grow up and I went and showed them why I could make it. I showed them the power in youth, power in truth. The younger you stay, the closer you are to your roots. That's the reason I know I can teach you how to hit the skies, rise above them without getting high. But if it help a bit, take a little hit, take a little sip, put your mind at ease. Swear you got the keys, you can have your dreams. That's up to you, not what others believe. Jeez, I swear that's the part that took longest for me. Cause when I drop into a beat, I detach from the world, view it under my feet. Orbit around my dreams, and there I perceive my reality and what it means. Music is where I can breathe, the world in between. What I am, what I was, what I will be. It's the only place that I feel free. Hope you feel me.
Time for game 3 in this best of 3 series. Game 1 and 2 have delivered in a big way, with 7DSS picking up the early win. But much like they did in both of their previous series, this split, they have now dropped a game to Deja Vu, who are looking to maintain their own unbeaten streak at the top of the table. Stanley Greyheart Barker once again joined by Alex Nightmare. How good. Many both inspired died to bring us these fantastic games. Was it worth it?
Depends who you're a fan of and who wins this last series. For me, I have no fans. You have to earn my respect, and they actually have.
Did you just say I have no fans?
No, not. Oh yeah, I did. Okay. Oh crap. Oh no! It's a Freudian slip. It's my worst nightmare. I have no one that likes me. Okay.
Oh, that's the highlight of my night, but also a highlight for me was watching Arbush, someone who I cast. I mean, honestly, one of the very first games I ever cast in my entire casting career was of Arbush, and I got to see him play in the last game. He played my favorite championship. He did it brilliantly. Now he's going up against yourself, who in turn played one of the cleanest Dariuses that I've seen for a little while. Dariuses? Dariuses? He played a good Darius, and
it's
also
like
this battle of the top laners.
It's like how Octopus has like 7 different plurals, which are all accepted.
I'm a big fan of octopodes.
Octopodes, there's octopus, octopuses, octopussies, which is a little bit weirder. Octopi.
Dude.
And some other stuff.
That's felinist.
Oh. Well, I'm sorry I've shown my true... I'm actually a cat person. I have a dog. So my parents have a dog, and my dog is lovely, but I do like cats. So, I'm sorry. Don't pick me, though.
Someone told me they were literally a cat person, and it really confused me. I was like, Judi Dench?
Oh, no. Oh, so look, look, they're one of my favorite reviews of all time, because I do look through bad movie reviews. One of my favorite movie reviews of all time was the Cats movie, which said simply, I'm not a fan of cats, but after that movie, I'm not sure I'm a fan of movies either.
So good. We are, of course, just waiting for the teams to get into Champ Select as we...
Quick, let's do Hangman.
No more Hangman, unless...
Wait, Judi Dench, damn, you got me.
Honestly, what were they thinking with that film? I think I know the answer to that. They weren't.
Yes, there was, head empty, no thoughts.
We're waiting on the Champ Select. Coming into this one, in game number 1 and game number 2, we saw exactly the same bands from 7DSS. With them now having lost their name, I expect to see a little bit of a change. That being said, we've got to realise that all the wins in this series so far have come from Red Side.
But more importantly, if you look at Yumi's splash art, going back to Cats, you'll notice she has eyebrows. Cats don't have eyebrows, and it's ruined Yumi for me. She has a French mustache on her head. It's not right, I tell you. It's sacrilege. It's very strange. Very strange. I'm sorry, I really could talk about the game, but I had
Would it make you feel really, really bad to hear that I accidentally called Arya cat the other day?
Oh, God, no. How could you?
I thought that might hurt you.
Oh.
We had a team comp that was what did we have? We had the new Yone skin, which makes him look a little bit like a cat.
Oh,
we had a Yumi. Yeah. We had something. Oh, we were thinking about getting a Nidalee, and I was like, well, what else could we have to round out? An Ari? And they're like, Stan, that's a fox. And then I was like,
you didn't even think of Rengar.
Somewhere out there that Nightmare is crying.
That's what I do most of the time, Stan, when I'm not on cast.
Oh, don't do that to me. At the very least.
Okay, how do you handle that one, Stan?
I mean, if I don't get to hear it, where's the fun in that?
Oh, there are many questions I could have about that, and yet we have to cast a game now. Okay, all right.
Do we though? Do we?
That's a good point.
I didn't see a Champ Select screen.
It's like object permanence. If you can't see it, does it actually exist? It's like when when you're trying to confuse a pet or something, when you like hold up a bedsheet and you run out the door. Yeah. Oh God. Oh man. Takes me back to my quantum physics days, because I did. I mean, we do a lot of university casting, and I did a degree in physics once upon a time. Quantum physics was a very interesting thing. Lots of Heisenberg and Cersty principles. I don't know where I'm going with this, by the way. Please just anything
let
else.
You dig yourself a little hole, to be honest. It's great. Speaking of digging a hole, do you still remember my favourite League of Legends pun?
Oh, yes. Was this the Alistair and the Cho'Gath?
No.
Oh, crap.
That's my favourite all-time one-liner, which I attribute to
to
Cradden. Daddy Craddy came out with it.
Oh, really? Was that Cradden?
I was Cradden.
Oh, wow. The pieces have joined themselves.
Yeah, it was on a complete league cast, and he turned around and said, much like an Alistair that's been hit by a Cho'Gath rupture, the stakes could not be higher. And to this day, that's the best thing I've ever heard anyone say on a league cast. But my favourite actual pure pun is finding out exactly which jungler is Yorick's favourite, and it turns out that he really digs graves.
Why do I do? You know when you were saying in game 1, why do I do this? And it's not just about casting VL; it's casting with a certain. You see the parallels.
Oh, I mean, I wouldn't cast with me. I don't know why anyone does.
And yet we still do. One of the modern mysteries. No mystery, though, is Lilia banned versus Arbush. You can't let him have that. He has like 200 games put in on the champion, and he's really good with it.
Yeah, I was about to make a comment that I definitely could not safely make in regards to...
was it going to be... Were you going to say that? Was that it? That came across to you, right? Yeah?
It sure did. No, actually, I wasn't going to say that. In fact, what I was going to say is, oh, look, Ezreal's banned from Sean again. We're seeing 2 of the same 3 bans coming in from 7 Deadly Sins. It's worked out once for them, not so much the other time. But remember, the last time it worked, they were on red side. We saw the Trundle priority game 1 from Deja Vu did not work out very well.
No, it didn't. Don't do it again. Trundle first pick is a thing of the past. It is no bueno. Legit, Trundle is countered by so many different things. They didn't even have to pick that. And he kind of sucked in the team fights. He just couldn't do enough.
Honestly, we've talked about this at length before, and I know you don't 100% agree with my way of looking at it, but I like Deja Vu going, we lost 1 game, a big part of it was these 2 champions, they're not seeing the light of day for the rest of the series.
At this level of play, I don't think that's an issue at all. I think that if one person or one team is very practiced around a pick, so for instance, back when I was playing more competitively, well, I mean, even when I play competitively now, when I have the chance, I obviously have my Ari band away from me. That's not so much just going to get picked. So then you do have another set of picks, which you then kind of just practice with your team, even if it's not your best individual champion. Like I play something like Victor. I don't play that in a solo queue that much, but I know how to play in a team comp situation. Darius might not. It is comfort in this case, but just banning away something which a team is very comfortable at playing around is very valuable.
We've questioned first pick so far. The Trundle didn't really work out in the last game. I believe it was the Nautilus that also obviously was ended up being on the losing side. I should really like this Xayah here because with the Leona ban already coming through from 7DSS, they're basically saying, go on, lock in Rakan now, deny us from the Lovers bot lane, and if you don't, we're going to play it again. We're going to put stronger on the champion that he's already won on earlier in this series. So I like this a lot as we see the Xayah locked in. In response, however, we've got Twitch and Yuumi, the French moustache-faced feline.
Oh no! She has eyebrows! Oh, okay, right, so... There is a chance this is Twitch jungle. Just putting it out there. It is worth talking about. And has that very cheesy early snowball. But then having Twitch Yuumi as a combo in the bot lane just allows you to roam across the map. For those of you that don't know the interaction, Yuumi, if she is on an invisible champion, is also invisible, and her Q is invisible, which means that you get hit by something and slowed out of nowhere, you know that you're probably going to die shortly afterwards.
I moaned about it last time, and perhaps wrongly so, as it ended up getting the win, but the Rakan now locked in on second rotation, as we see Wakatachewy securing one last pickup. While I do believe that the jungler makes the most sense here, I actually would really like to see the Shen locked in. It worked out so well last time. Woo! We didn't see the Ari ban, which we've seen a couple of times this series, and as a result, Wakatachewy is playing in homage to yourself. The Ari.
Wait, you'd best not mess up now, otherwise it makes me look very bad.
So much to play for in this game.
Yeah, I think you have to lock in the Rakan here. It would be banned away in the second round of bans if you didn't lock it in alongside the Xayah. That's why it's different compared to that last champion select. And now we have the Ari locked in. This is a lot of... What I really like about Aris is when they are, apart from just... Ari's great. So if you lock an Ari in a team composition with other CC, you don't actually have to be accurate with your charm and throw it out into nothingness. You can just chain it into something else and just nuke someone out of existence. Cassiopeia, if they get Rakan ulted into W, into charm, there's very little way they escape that.
Oh, keep going. I'm eating a cream egg.
Oh, wow. Oh, lovely. So, unfortunately, he's eating a cream egg, so he can't complain about Shen being banned. That's unfortunate. Well, he has to taste that bitter medicine sometime, and the surgeon has been whisked away to extra hours, as many people are in these current climates, so unfortunate for that. Going through into our second bans.
Jeez, that got dark really quickly.
No, it's just, okay. I come from a medical family. There is a bit of a dark sense of humor from that. I would have been the 5th doctor in my family if I'd gone towards medicine, but I got a lot of love for my medics in the family, but the hours are very tough.
Instead.
It's like, wow, whisked away to do extra hours. I'm like, yeah, it's kind of what my parents did for most of their jobs, actually.
Nothing but respect for people in that line of work. We are seeing 2 bans coming in. The top laners that we saw last time round, not either of them going to see the light of day. Also, the Trundle taken away, which obviously had such high priority last time round for Z-Man Jr. on the blue side. Not going to be seeing this one. One last ban to come through. I would not be at all surprised to see the Aatrox taken away again.
Aatrox would be, well, I guess that's kind of a crutch pick for a lot of top laners. It's got a very strong a very strong laning phase, and a very obvious team fight pattern, right? You just kind of run forward, and also Aatrox very good with the Yuumi. The Ornn's being taken away. Now, I know that SKT's former support in Wolf, who was with them from Season 5 through to Season 8 or so, a very long time, he loved Ornn into Zyra just on his team. Of course, he was a support, he didn't play that pick himself, just because Ornn's ult cooldown is lower than Zyra's ult cooldown, which means you can trade ult for ult, and you don't really feel bad about it at all. Ah, Sejuani, that's a pick.
Yeah, with the Trundle taken away, those tank stats are going to get shredded through a little less easily. Now we've got to see a rounded out composition. Yet again, the Yasuo hovers coming in. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to see it happen, but I don't think it's going to anytime soon. We're looking towards a jungler and a top laner.
Yone jungle, yes, wait,
Screw it.
Let's go.
Screw it. Lock the Yone. Just do it.
I mean, okay.
That's not a Yone. I was
about to say, like, are you going to do...
Let's go! My 2 favorite champions in one cast.
Oh, and this is, you know, I know that we had to pay a secret price to get Stan on here, but I wasn't like involved in the conversation for it. So now I know what it is. Got to at least play one of his favorite champions per cast, and they want to play both.
Z-Man Jr. Z-Man Jr. I'm literally here. I've got my my surprise party of Mumu little toy thingy in one hand. I've got its balloon, which got broken and severed off, in the other hand. And it's just the most wonderfully pitiful thing, because not only is it a really sad toy in the first place, but having the balloon broken and just lying on the floor makes it even better. And right now, I'm waving them both at the screen in support of Z-Man Jr. They've picked Shen, they've picked Amumu. Let's fucking go, Deja Vu.
And you heard it here first. I'm going to throw it out there. I want to see a Glacial Ari out of Wakanda. In fact, he was asking me when Glacial was good in team composition. So if you paid attention to my DMs, I said, look, when people are low mobility and need to use movement speed to start moving around team fights and kite, if you tag Cass, Twitch, Mordekaiser with the slow, it stops them from either engaging or disengaging a lot in these fights, and it might be able to separate someone like the Mordekaiser or the Sejuani in these team fights. You have heavy engage already. If you're zone controlling with this Ari, I want to see it with a Glacial, and it sets up very well for Zyra to pull feathers back through them as well.
And can I just say, Rabbit Hot Connor, I see your comment. I completely agree with you. Leandries all the way. Let's do this thing. We've got this top lane matchup. There were the last 2 lock-ins coming in. Arbush on Malphite, yourself playing Mordekaiser. They are our 2 MVPs, whether you like it or not, Nymera, from our last 2 games. And now they're going head-to-head in a very, very different matchup. What are your thoughts on the Malphite into the mod?
I hate top laners. Okay, no, so...
That's not even about the matchup, that's just like a...
I mean, you asked for my thoughts, it's a dangerous question, Stan, that's the problem. So we saw Arbush playing the Mordekaiser into Malphite versus Tent in their last series as well, top laner being called Tent. And he struggled in killing the Malphite, but he did have a lot of lane pressure. You just get loads of farm and you can trade up on it. You can go, you can definitely go for Leandries into something like the Nash's Tooth and just keep 1v1ing that tank matchup. My problem is, if you are going against the Amumu and also the Zyra Feathers and the Ari with, if they do go Glacial, of course, we haven't yet discovered what rune that will be, Mordekaiser can get kited out very easily. I almost wonder if you need a Proto Belt just to ult the carries and kill them in the Death Realm.
Okay, well, got to keep our eyes towards that matchup because those 2 players have been so crucial throughout this series. Generally speaking, whichever one of them has been
ahead.
Really, yeah, and I know that's a silly thing to say because so often if someone's ahead, of course their team's ahead and they're going to win. But these two have been at the forefront of their team's success in the last game, so got to keep our eyes towards that. Let's talk jungle matchups. Amumu, Sejuani.
Okay.
There are so many champions that Amumu does badly into. There's a reason we don't see it in competitive. Sejuani is not especially one of them.
No, and this is the thing, right? They're kind of in the same class of champion. They want to survive the early game and have huge team fights. Be that strong front line. Amumu does it with more damage and more AoE CC. Sejuani has free target mobility in the queue as opposed to Amumu needing to hit that queue to get in. And they're both going to be very, very tanky coming into this. One problem is for the Amumu, there is a Cassiopeia, there's a Mordekaiser. They're both pretty good at killing tanks. Sejuani, though, has to cut through a Malphite, too, who can just block up that ultimate. And the Rakan can engage and just start resetting the fight, when and where she sees fit. I also think Sejuani is going to have a bit of a burden on the fact that, what we were saying in Game 1? Why do we see so much Bard? And I was saying, well, Bard Ashe, Bard, other champions that can engage, really, really cool. It gives you different options. I really only see 7 Deadly Sins having that Sejuani to engage teamfights off of, unless you're going to start running in with Twitch Yumi to get picks.
Okay, so here's the thing. Normally, I would love to look straight down the camera and tell you there is no caster bias, that even if I'm casting the UK against Germany, I'm calling it down the middle. But here's the thing. I'm not on camera, so screw that. Complete caster bias, Amumu being played for me, Ari being played for you.
Yeah.
We're both cheering for Deja Vu, right?
Or something like that.
I honestly don't even know what that just said.
I don't. I couldn't even hear my own voice. I heard there was cheering in the background of it, so I decided to pick that sound effect. Castifiers, let's go.
All right, we'll bring you to game 3 of this series very, very shortly. We'll be on to the river, bringing you every little bit of action as it happens. We'll be taking you all the way to the conclusion of what has been a terrific. It's so good. I've made up a new word. Fan-terrific game here. This series is going to decide who is at the top of the standings at the end of this week of play. One of these teams will be moving to 3-0 here in Division 1.
So Ricardo got half of it right. Went for the Glacial. That's nice. You don't go Sorcery second on Ari if you go Glacial. You go Domination, Ultimate Hunter, and Cheap Shot. That's what you really want to go for. So that's a bit unfortunate there. I'd imagine that's a Transcendence and a Mana Flow band or something like Scorch.
Why is that such a big loss?
Because you already get to 45% CDR, so you don't need Transcendence. That's one of the big reasons you take the Sorcery Tree. Cheap Shot means you auto-attack, which slows, and Cheap Shot being a rune where your next instance of damage after a CC comes through does extra damage, means that you can auto into Q-Trade and lane right from level 1 and have a lot more laning power. And of course, Ultimate Hunter at full stacks gives you so much ultimate cooldown reduction, and Ari is a very ult-dependent champion, that you can use that to great effect into the mid and late game, which means that actually going for those secondary runes gives you something very impactful in the early game and something very impactful in the late game.
Meanwhile, there's going to be a lot of disappointment out there in chat. We are seeing Aftershock on the Amumu. We're not going to be seeing Grenade Amumu this time around, which, it's a disappointment, but it's an understandable one nonetheless. Coming into this game, you can see just how much of a CC train that there is for Deja Vu by the 2 cleanses picked up by the key carries there for 7 Deadly Sins.
Oh, you need it. If you get hit by one piece of CC, you need to immediately flash out of there. I do think that if this comes to a back-to-front team fight, and I'm just going to pause at 10 seconds, sorry about that. If it comes to a back-to-front team fight, things are going to get very awkward for the side of Deja Vu.
We are good to go. We're going to get you into this action in just a moment's time. So this is it. The final game of this best of 3 series. Valance League is going to be rounding off with this one tonight. We're already seeing the 2 teams splitting themselves out. It looks like we're just going to see the defensive 5-point defenses coming in. This is, of course, the game that decides who's at the top of the table at the end of this week. Could go a long way to deciding tiebreakers later on as well.
Sure, but 3-0 is no mean feat. That's nice, particularly in Division 1, the highest level that Valance League has got to offer in this split. And yeah, going 3-0, it's a big statement. Of course, when we were talking about Vengeance being pretty big wait, did someone say in chat that Vengeance lost to you? Okay, so I was about to say the Vengeance were, like, really looking strong, but apparently they just lost. Okay. Cool stuff. Wait, that's not part of the narrative. You can't just drop that on me.
Well, that makes the game even bigger for whoever picks up the win.
Yeah, it does. It genuinely does. Okay, all right. Got ourselves a series.
What Twitch skin is that?
Oh, that's D&D Twitch. Okay, so that is, you know that...
Oh, it's the Chroma that I don't recognise.
So it's like Talon and Tarek and then Twitch, and yes, it's the pink Chroma for D&D Twitch, who has the cutest voice filter as well. It's all high-pitched and squeaky.
Oh, yes,
like, Twitch is not cute in his original skin, but that one I make an exception for.
I will say one thing cute about Twitch, and again, not original skin, but the rolling in the grass. Just absolutely wonderful. We're going to see the bottom half of the map start for both of these junglers, getting a little help from the duo lanes. Lamps is going to leave long before the blue buff dies Tingtar, and around about the same time, Z-Man Jr. gets himself a red buff. This is the point where quite often a Mumu will pop straight over to the Raptors. When you've got your W and your E, you're going to be able to do plenty of quick damage, start clearing out these camps very, very rapidly. But then you start thinking, you know what, I need a blue buff.
Mid laners think that too sometimes. So, Okada Chewy versus Rock in this mid lane. We're going to have to look at those HP bars and the mana bars. Level 2 hit by Cassiopeia. At this point, if you get one really big trade as the cast, Ari feels pretty bad about life, but one charm and kind of feels a bit awkward the other way.
That is very true. We are going to see those minion dematerializers.
No, instead we're looking at Malphite versus Mordekaiser. Great matchup, that one.
Yes, I mean, you know, I'm interested in what these top laners are doing, so, you know, I'm not upset about that. Of course, Malphite with the passive getting basically what we saw from the Mountain Dragon near the end of the last game, that extra shield that's going to build up. Yourself just trading every time he sees it up, just immediately removing it, meaning there's a little bit more danger for Arbush, but he just sends a seismic charge yourself's way, and that sort of evens things back out again.
A good thing here for the Malphite, so Gone Comet, that's lane control, and that can be quite nice, right? Particularly against the not the Maokai, the other ones, what am I saying? Mordekaiser, the other M champion. You can just keep spamming that Q, keep trading very well. And also by going Inspiration Secondary, it looks like, gone for the Corrupting Pot and the Biscuits alongside Time Tonic. He's not going to run as low on mana as Malphite can do in this laning phase. He looks low right now, but with a Biscuit and 2 pots left, he's going to be fine.
A perfectly fine time getting those Comet trades, as you say. Viking, meanwhile, pushing this wave in, getting a big early CS advantage against the Twitch, as the charm is dodged away from by Rock, but not able to dash away from the damage coming in from the Q. Meanwhile, Sej1 has got to be very, very careful, because there is no priority towards this Scuttlecraft. Z-Man Jr. has been spotted out taking the ward. This is a very, very dangerous game for both of the junglers. That's going to be the smite coming in from Z-Man Jr. and the bandage toss straight away down onto the Scuttle, trying to get himself out of the safety. But he's got to be careful, otherwise he gives away first blood. Rock trying to flash away, trying to save himself from going down. But it's going to be Sej1 who gets the kill onto the Amumu. He cries himself back to the fountain. Wakata Chewy has to burn the flash after burning the ignite as well. The flash and cleanse were burned by Rock, but crucially, he lives. Amumu dies.
2 key moments in that set of plays there. One, Z-Man on the Amumu didn't proc the Aftershock. He used the Q onto the Scuttlecrab, tried to use that to taxi out. I think that if you just go onto the Sejuani and the Ahri is in range, you can chain that into a CC combo into death using your Keystone alongside it. That's where the second problem comes in. Ahri goes in on the cast. You had the first roam. I know it's very tempting to get your own lead there, but if you go and help your jungler, you don't give up doubles. You don't give up a kill in this like-for-like jungle matchup, and it spins the game on its head.
Completely agree with you, and as a jungle main myself, it's one of those most frustrating things when you're like, I've got prio, yeah? I've got prio, and then you just don't get any roam, any support coming in, and unfortunately things went from bad to worse for Z-Man Jr., who now not only loses that blue buff that is so crucial for Mumu in the early levels, but actually I was about to say finds himself behind on CS, but he doesn't, because he's doing a pretty decent job farming up.
Unfortunately with this now, it does mean that kill pressure onto the cast is very low. You don't have flash, don't have ignite. Bot lane might be a bit different though.
Yeah, we are seeing Stronger going very, very aggressive. Sean Houston will get the cat jumping on the rat's back. It's the weirdest Tom and Jerry you ever did see.
There's Tom and Jerry, and then it's Spike, the dog. So we need to nominate someone else on the team to be Spike, you know, the third person. Who's, I mean, I guess we have Bristle, but that's a boar. Who's your nomination, Sam?
I mean, I say you're a boar, but you don't see me complaining.
Well, wait until we see what Twitch chat says. Okay, top lane, that's a thing. We're back here. What do you think of that one, Stan? Take it away from me, please.
Noodles, they're wet.
Hey, nice. I mean, I do love myself a good ramen. Maybe we should just call it ramen instead. Gets me to be, you know, I get to still be half weeb. It is a wet noodle still.
Only half. Meanwhile, yourself is down on CS very slightly, but has got that wave pushed up to his turret. Arbush, yet again, looking predominant. We're looking towards those crucial ultimates coming in, as it's going to be Arbush taking a turret shot, yourself throwing down damage, getting the shield in return, still losing out in his trades, and now it's Arbush who's hit the ultimate first, crucially, maybe looking towards that unstoppable force.
Maybe, but then if you... Well, okay, some key matchups, key interactions there. If you channel your Realm of Death and then Malphite ults, he's unstoppable. He doesn't go into it. He can avoid it that way. However, then if the Malphite is pushing and you trap him on the turret, I don't think he really cares about it. I do think that Mordekaiser can get out-kited by the Malphite. Malphite has a lot of good itemization choices into that Mordekaiser. But Mord, a lot of his job in these teamfights will be just, let's just take away this Malphite so we can't ruin the teamfight for the rest of my team.
Oh, absolutely. That's very true now. However, there was just that moment as yourself was getting low on the turret where level 6 hadn't been hit for the Mordekaiser. I thought maybe we could see something. It was not to be. Arbush playing things plenty safe.
Okay, so Arbush, though, speaking of him, he just went mid lane, so you can get a ultimate into mid lane. But Wakata Chi, something which you've been doing really well the whole series, but hadn't done there. Wave positioning. That wave is at Rock's turret. He is more than safe. He's happy to sit there, farm like the Orianna did in that last game, and in the game before that too, actually. But what that meant is that the Malphite just couldn't find an angle onto the cast. Even with no summoners, very safe.
And while Rock's playing safe, it's not a tiger that dies. Instead, the dragon, the ocean, being secured by the team that are 500 down in gold. Basically, just that first blood gold that is separating the two teams.
What? Tiger?
Yeah, we were talking about Rocks.
Oh.
It was tenuous, I'm not going to lie.
I get it now, but it's like when you're trying to explain a joke. It's like dissecting an animal. You do understand it, but it is dead.
Would you like to hear? And I don't think I've ever told you this. Would you like to hear my favourite ever joke?
Sure, go for it.
Okay, so you're gonna help me out on this one.
Okay,
so it's
cool.
it's a knock joke.
Okay.
You start.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
It's me. It's Alex.
Alex.
Wait! Wait! Is that? Ah,
it's so great! Viking is caught out just like you were a minute ago. Stronger is able to dash to the safety as we do see the ultimate thrown down by Ignitar, catching onto a Viking who's had to burn flash and heal. It instead is going to be Z-Man Jr. who dies for the second time this game, giving up his life so his bot lane may live.
Wait, I got destroyed harder than Deja Vu did in that team fight. I'm still very sad about that, Stan.
How good a joke is that? Come on.
That's like, oh, I was not expecting that. I was like, wait, how do I respond? Oh crap! Wait, that's awful.
It's a joke purely for my own amusement, and frankly, that's the best.
That's the only thing which matters sometimes. Oh, okay.
Sometimes, jeez, you don't know me well at all. We're stronger, finding the knockup onto Lampshawn, able to step out to safety, fairly low on mana on the Twitch. Happy to have picked up that assist. So far, it had been a pickaxe up against the BF sword. However, going to be able to go on that back now and maybe get some attack speed too.
He's probably going to go towards the Manamune, actually. That's been the recent Twitch build. I'm not sure what I think of it, but given that Twitch loses lane anyway, if you can survive lane, which they are doing, and then come out with a Manamune with a Yuumi, you are going to absolutely crap on this mid game. Ari cannot stand up to that. Amumi probably dies too. Even the Malphite will probably have to ult away, given that he'll be itemizing into the Abyssal Mask first. It looks like won't have any of that early armor. So I'm looking at this Twitch Yuumi, looking at itemization, like, Zyra Khan, maybe not winning hard enough right now.
Yeah, it's maybe needing to accelerate just a little bit. We saw an acceleration coming through from Deja Vu in that last game. However, they found themselves small disadvantages with Z-Man Jr. giving up his life, not even burning that Curse of the Sad Money just yet.
My problem is, though, you know, we were talking in game 2 about Deja Vu having the scaling. They didn't need to be ahead, and they managed to get ahead anyway. I look at 7 Deadly Sins, and I'm like, they have some tools to use in the late game, but if you don't catch Twitch and Cass in the team fights, and then your tanks are stuck in the front line, you lose pretty much every team fight I can think of. And also, importantly, their objective speed, taking speed, so getting Cass on Baron, on Dragon, you have a Twitch there too, and being able to tank it up with a Mordekaiser or this Drani. This is very hard to play into the mid and late game for Deja Vu, so they need to be very careful with this, whereas 7 Deadly Sins will need to work on their vision control and make sure that they can abuse that strength of their comp.
The Herald is now up. Both of these teams have tried to get some attention toward this in 2 games, and it's actually backfired on both teams
at
some point. Wow, your life truly is tragic. So it's going to be a movement clearing out this vision, but Sejuani's lurking in the wings. Support is around from Mordecai. I'm so sorry. From Mordekaiser. And yet again, having to be careful, not wanting to give up that death so early.
I'm sorry, I missed most of what just happened. Okay. Malphite has level 9. He's pretty strong. He has ult. I guess he can TP somewhere across the map. We can go see what happens. That'll be the next big thing. Can the next big ultimates out of the top and jungle of Deja Vu set up for a huge team fight? Is it going to be led off with Stronger, who Didn't lead off the engages most of the time in the on the Rakan in the last game, but was still pretty nice in there. He's just okay. I was just walking up, forcing out the indestructible, and making sure that yourself is at least burning some cooldowns.
Knockup is going to connect onto Sean Lamps, disengaging himself from the rat's body in order to send out a pouncing projectile. Meanwhile, Stronger and Viking abusing the potential they have in the levels bot lane. Meanwhile, Ignitar caught out by the bandage toss, but he immediately turns the damage back. He has the completed Cinder Hulk. Amumu does not, and the mummy boy is dying. Ultimate thrown down straight away onto Arbush, yourself coming over for support. Meanwhile, the Rift Herald just throwing a few slashes here and there. Meanwhile, Taunt is going to connect on to the Cassiopeia, who's able to turn her own back. And Petrifying Gaze, of course, still not having been used by Rock.
Yeah, this is pre-curse completed Itemari without that cheap shot, like we're saying, which adds in an extra bit of damage. You're really looking for a number of those to land in a row. You're not at the break point yet where you can full combo, even with that Ignite, because that can, of course, be cleansed. Oh, Q misses.
Amumu going aggressive. Had the bandage toss hit, you certainly would have been seeing a Curse of Sad Mummy. You may well have been seeing Snakeskin on the ground here on the Rift. The second dragon of the game is just about to spawn. We can Chewy taking a lot of damage now. I thought it was as a bait, but actually that was just losing 75% of your health for nothing.
The minion wave came in at a very inopportune point, blocked out any potential charm routes unless you're going to flash around the minions, which is always a little bit hard to come into it. Now you're going to have to fight with a very long RE ultimate cooldown, and that's not going to be up for, importantly, stuff like this Herald, which is being spawned again. The next dragon fight, which is also alive.
Meanwhile, Sean just doing everything he can.
Sorry, I was going to leave it somewhere else. So I just thought I'd just drop it there. You know,
it's absolutely fine. We're just saying that the Herald, which is being pinged out a lot, is exactly what Sejuani is doing, and as a result, we are going to see the Dragon taking on the other side of the map. Dragon early on has always been going over to Deja Vu. They got 3 in a row first of all, then they managed to get themselves sold in the last game. They've already got 2 now as the Cloud winds quicken.
That's pretty nice, actually, just in terms of picking up the Mountain Dragon while it's there. I think that having ultimate cooldown reduction for the side of Deja Vu, very important, particularly for the Xayah ult, because you want to be using that to protect one of your 2 carries. And speaking of protecting carries, Twitch wanting to play safe under the spot lane turret. I think the dive's been called off, though.
Yeah, Sean and Lamps able to clear out that wave quick enough that there was really no threat from the Amumu, who was just clearing out a little bit of vision. Sejuani coming towards the bottom side of the map to support the duo that is struggling somewhat with a 40 CS disadvantage for Sean right now. He's doing everything he can underneath the turret, but at the minute, there's not a huge amount he can do.
And while Twitch is suffering, he's still up in XP. Well, still there in XP. He is 30 CS behind. That's not great. But if he gets to Manamune, plus an Infinity Edge and a Hurricane at some point in this game, those are all the items he needs to run other team fights. And he's not been killed yet. He hasn't been completely put under the dumpster, and he still has somewhere to at least pick up that XP still.
And if you're, maybe one of those players who looks towards the kill score more than you do just generally tabbing and looking at things like minion score and dragons and things like that, this is one of those games where you could easily be lulled into a sense of false security if you were 7 Deadly Sins, or, false woe if you were Deja Vu, because right now there is a slender gold lead for the team who are down 2 kills. They've secured themselves 2 dragons. They've got good CS leads in basically everywhere but mid.
And I think it is correct to think that, we might have a slower paced game. But what that does mean is that the next big player is going to have everything available. Every teleport, every summoner, every ultimate, and now first items coming through as well. I think that, let's have a look at what Xayah's got. Xayah will probably be able to complete the Essence Reaver on this next back as well. And yeah, then you've got the next fight, which is going to be pretty monolithic, I'd imagine.
I'm looking towards where Xayah can't go next, because dragons have been an early priority. However, there's not one spawning for a little while. We have seen that Essence Reaver now completed for the Xayah with 35 CS leaders. We see the charm connecting onto Rock, immediately throwing the Petrifying Gaze, landing the root. Ultimate comes in from Sejuani. Rock finds himself what was very nearly a solo kill, but gets a little help from Ignitar as well, as D-Man Jr. does his favorite thing and takes a blue buff.
And apparently Camille was in game 1 and apparently turned up again in game 3 because Rock beats Scissors. Ricardo Chewy goes into mid lane, dies with a bit of a whimper, gets grounded, can't flash or ult away, and also telegraphs his Q. You know it's going to come out at some point. The Cassio ult comes out, stuns him in place, no real outplay opportunity.
You want to see big things coming out of this Ari. What are your thoughts so far? Oh, the lad answered better than words ever could. I want to see more out of Ricardo Chewy. You do as well.
So the thing is, with a lot of assassin burst matchups, and Ari is somewhere in between those, right? You want to be teaming up in the early game with someone else to get yourself snowballing. You get that Amumu, hey, really good CC in the early game. You get to just queue in and have some decent damage with your ultimate. We have an ultimate in top lane.
Yeah, this is going to be Ignitar coming around just as the Death Realm times out. Rock's already here. The damage, the unstoppable force used by Arbosh. The flash follow from Rook. Arbosh does not have the flash available. Is burning out to the poison. He's going to die. Rock finds himself his 3rd kill of the game. Now 3-0-1 on the Cassiopeia. And that means bad news for Deja Vu.
It really does, because Cassiopeia is the champion that spikes later than the Ahri. We're talking about this in the last game with the Lissandra, Competitor, and Orianna. It's a similar kind of situation. You can do stuff later into the game which your opponent champion just can't help to do because they don't have those same scaling numbers. Oh, that's a charm landing, but Ahri doesn't do well versus tanks, and that's why.
I mean, that's a Merc Tread Sejuani, who not only is shrugging off the charm quicker, but also negating so much of the damage coming out of Wakadachui at this point. Do want to level 1 from Twitch chat towards you, Nymera, as we've got CXLLYJ saying, Glacialari, insecure. Thoughts on that?
I don't play Glacial Arrow myself a lot. I think in 5v5s, particularly against compositions which really rely on movement speed, and that includes stuff like Cassiopeia, who doesn't have that much mobility in her own kit unless she lands a Q. Mordekaiser, who just runs at you. Twitch, who has nothing as well. Very, very important, because you can use it offensively and defensively. If you tag one of these people with that slow, the rest of your team follows up. They can hit skill shots. You can start getting Leandri's burn. Xayah gets to free hit more. Defensively, in the same way, you land someone, you tag that slow into someone, and the Xayah can free hit just more. I know someone also said, Glacial plus Ignite. No, you always need Ignite on Ahri because her base damages are so low. You're working off of very slim kill margins, which means that you do need the Ignite to really turn things in your favor. Also, Cassiopeia is a champion that heals a lot from her base kit, which means that you just need that sometimes to delay some of that healing from her Twin Phoenix.
Crucial moment coming in as we see the bandage toss connecting onto the Twitch and is obliterated. Z-Man Jr. making this one pay with the curse of the sad mummy. Teleport coming in as Malfoy joins with an unstoppable force available. This 3rd dragon very clearly a point of contest. The bandage toss across the wall, the flash coming in from Mordekaiser, getting himself out to safety. This is a crucial moment in the game as we look towards what could be a 3rd, not uncontested, but a 3rd crucial dragon for Deja Vu. One of the things that they have certainly been looking to take. They want this team fight. They want to make the Malphite, the Amumu work, and it looks like this was the pick they needed. Meanwhile, on the side, we see Ignitar. He's looking for a potential steal. This, however, is a bit of a death wish as he gets absolutely bombarded by CC. He runs out to safety. Behind him and might well be able to survive. The question is what's happening with the dragon. It's going lower and lower. It's eventually secured by Xayah of all people. Meanwhile, the disengage does eventually arrive just as Twitch rejoins his team. It is going to be a dragon and 2 kills. Sorry, 1 kill going over to Deja Vu.
But okay, they get 1 kill and immediately convert it into something. That's something we like to see from teams. It means that you know where you're strong on the map. You seize the day, carpe diem, whatever other languages have a cool way of saying that, and you get something out of it. They are going to lose the Herald, but now sell an Cloud Soul Point. That's a decent little extra feather to put in the cap. I'm sorry, I don't have eyes. I don't have vocal cords apparently either.
Oh, dude, you know I love you, really. The Herald is being picked up yet again. And yet again, it's almost stolen away. It is eventually secured. Wait, who even got that? I think it did go...
Maud has it.
Yeah,
Maud has it.
Just picking up. That's the closest of margins. Again, Z-Man Jr. almost coming in clutch.
And now you have a Cloud Dragon onto your ultimate dependent team, which is important because if you trade out ultimates for stuff like summoner spells, which you are looking to do quite a lot in this game, or try and defensively use your Xayah ultimate, which will be traded for stuff like Twitch trying to come into mid lane if she's trying to wave clear there. This just gives you extra windows of opportunity and extra margins of error to play around. Importantly as well, again, we were talking about, hey, whenever Glacial is good into a team is normally when they're move speed is a very important stat. If you get Cloud Soul, that exacerbates the issue, because one of the most important things in League of Legends isn't just move speed in isolation, it's move speed differential. There's a difference between a Master Yi with ult and Ghost running at you when you have no ability, or when you are the same type of champion with no mobility, having extra move speed, which sets you apart from them in the game.
We are seeing more attention put towards this top lane turret, which so very nearly drops. However, yourself is able to force Stronger and Viking away, and with support from Twitch, wants to continue this pursuit. Ahri is coming up for a little bit of support. We could see a 3v3 brewing. I do want to ask you the question, which would you be more scared of right now? The 1,100 gold lead that Xayah has over Twitch, or the 1,600 gold lead Cassiopeia has over Ahri?
Well, looking at it, Zaya's doing pretty well right here, but now he's in the Death Realm.
Yeah, Viking trying to do everything he can, and he's going to pick up the kill as yourself gets obliterated by the Feather. Recall out of the Feather Storm. Double kill coming in for the Zaya. I've answered my own question, or in this case, it's been answered by Deja Vu. Bandage Toss is going to connect onto Ignitar, but I'm not entirely sure you can eat through Bristle's health just that easily. Remember, these 3 dragons already secured by Deja Vu, so when this next dragon comes up, they'll be looking towards the Soul, and based on that last fight, they are ready for any team fight that comes their way.
If you get vision control, expect that to happen again, and it won't be quite as split across the map. We didn't even see the Malphite there at the time, didn't have teleport to commit to that fight. Is itemizing full into the MR, knows that if they nuke the Twitch, there is no physical damage to really get anything rolling for them. We talk about the gold leads, right? Which one's more important, the Zaya or the Cassiopeia? It is important that the Cassiopeia has a gold lead big enough to buy a second item. Banshee's fail and feels that she will still be doing damage through that. Very important, means that you have extra stats, you can cleanse away from something, and you have a Seraph's. Having the extra MR on top of a large shield from that Seraph's Embrace means that it is going to be a lot of effective HP to cut through to take down the Cassiopeia. And we already talked about what can happen if the fight resets around the gauge cooldowns being used from Deja Vu, and then the Cassiopeia free-firing in return.
Well, we have got ourselves crucial moments in the game now. 22 minutes in, the Baron is, of course, available, and a lost team fight could easily mean either of these teams secure that objective. The Dragon will be coming up in round about 120 seconds time, and when that comes up, you are almost guaranteed a fight.
I think you absolutely are. You do not want to give over a free Cloud Soul. If you don't see a good fight making its way in and you don't think that you can funnel in through the correct ways, I think it is okay to give it up from 7 Deadly Sins. It's not going to end the game. And if you're then in a position to fight for Elder because you didn't lose a fight, remember in the last game when we saw Deja Vu saying, look, we could get Soul right here, but we'd rather just take 3 turrets and trade. If you find yourself a good trade and then buy yourself more items on something like the Twitch and the Cassiopeia. Speaking of the Twitch, just got that Ruinous Hurricane. Keep an eye on that one. This could be a point to just give up your advantage. Well, give up the fight now so you can win later for a much more important objective in that Elder Dragon.
Let's find out which of those 2 things is about to happen, because that dragon is now less than a minute away from spawning. You can see Cassiopeia and the Sejuani trying to set up a Death Bush. Twitch will be arriving with Yuumi Into very soon, but it does mean that all pressure is lost towards the mid lane turret, which is immediately picked up. Vikings walking straight into a trap, straight in to complete obliteration. The bandage toss comes in, the Curse and Sad Mummy is there, but the damage is not stronger. There's nothing he can do. Wakanda tries to throw out some damage, but Rock obliterates the Amumu. Taking out the Zaya like that was exactly what the Doctor ordered for 7DSS as they find themselves 2 quick kills. They turn the tide of dragons briefly.
So, if you get the vision control, we were saying, hey, don't...
That was too close!
Very close.
Don't do this to me, Peter!
We talked about if you funnel into vision into Deja Vu's comp, it can get really awkward. But 7 Deadly Sins find the window of time, window of opportunity. They get themselves to the objective first, and they get the kills. And then we already talked about if their carries survive with these items they already have and the scaling their champions provide them, they have got a very good front-to-back team fight.
So that is the sort of pick that was desperately needed for 7DSS, and they made it work so well. Questions maybe to be asked for Viking leading the way into trouble there. Was that unfortunate and well executed by 7DSS, or are we questioning the positioning from Viking?
You should never be the person heading into that from the side of Zaya. That's just a little bit of disrespect. I think maybe just slips the mind because you're not considering them to be there. I don't know whether that's a communication thing, saying, oh yeah, they could have walked through here. We didn't have vision at this point. I actually didn't see that vision they'd set up beforehand, but now looking at the amount of pink wards around that dragon, you got to imagine that Deja Vu were pretty in the dark around that. I do think that is a lot of disrespect, and given the lead they had in that game when we were saying, hey, you don't really want to let a couple more items come in for the cast and the switch, that could be the turning of the tide.
We talked earlier about the 2 cleanses for the Cassiopeia, for the Twitch. Well, now we're looking at a QSS completed for Zaya, perhaps scared of the obliteration that just came through. This is, of course, on top of the Phantom Dancer and the Essence Reaver as well. This is a really interesting, the game sort of stalling out a little bit, all the fights happening around these dragons. Even the Baron dance isn't really going on at the moment with the amount of control that we see in terms of vision for Deja Vu around that objective. We've seen this through the round about the 25-minute mark in each of the 2 prior games, with the 2 teams slowing things down, allowing the objectives to dictate the pace of the game. Which of these two teams do you feel that benefits the most at the moment?
I think if we do see a lapse in vision control around this slower kind of dance, and we saw that the 7 Deadly Sins just did that just then, I think it does favor 7 Deadly Sins because they have a Cassiopeia with a lot of items which can melt through the Baron. They have a much faster objective taking speed, which means that Deja Vu, they might be playing it slower now, but if they get lulled into it, as we were saying in the early game, get lulled into the slower pace of play, this team can melt through that objective, and if you lose the Baron, game maybe follows after it.
Okay, well, the Baron still has gone untouched despite that that last set of picks we saw. That was only a dragon to be secured by 70SS. Meanwhile, it is still seeming to be Deja Vu with their foot on the accelerator pedal. They're still pushing up. They've still got some pretty significant advantages. Still that 40 CS advantage for the Xayah over the Twitch, the biggest of the deficits in the game at the moment. Z-Man Jr. here is taking away a camp very, very aggressively. He's looking for the bandage toss. He finds a big ultimate onto Rock, and with the follow-up, the Unstoppable Force, the Cassiopeia is dead. And much like the Xayah being killed off before, this exactly is the target that is wanted. That the Seismic Shard is going to find the slow onto yourself, forcing a flash out of him. It's not enough to keep him alive. Viking gets another quick kill, and just like that, the defense has been absolutely eviscerated for 7DSS. Sean trying to fight back, trying to find a target to expunge. The charm going narrowly wide from Tom as Jerry rides safely on the back.
We were talking about the Wombo coming in from Deja Vu earlier into the game. You can start falling apart in the 5v5s, but that wasn't a 5v5. They find the picks, and it is off that vision game once more.
Z-Man Jr. looking again for the bandage toss, trying to get the root to connect. There it is. Ignutine, all sorts of trouble as the Featherstorm recall. Sorry, the Feather recall goes straight through him. The Featherstorm not even burned by Viking in that entire setup.
Oh, and the big thing there is that in the last couple of fights, we haven't seen Arbush there. He's been held accountable by the Mordekaiser. Twitch has just DC'd briefly, and we have ourselves into Hangman time, Stan.
Hey, well, it is Twitch that had some small issues there, and has also had some small issues throughout this game. Unable to really...
Wait, the stream or the champion?
Pretty sure the stream.
Come on, you can't say that. Oh, no, now it's Discord. He's gone. Oh, wait, Stan.
I'm very disappointed in you.
Okay, cool.
You've sunk to my level. This is
yeah.
like when I talk about bug splats and then immediately say there's not even a Kha'Zix in the game. Come on.
In fact, I seem to remember you leaving me when I made a joke about a bug splat once. I was talking because we were talking about a team which was named after a bee, and it was like, oh, they're dead.
I mean, that is because you'd made roughly 850 LDV bzz jokes by that point and had promised me B-movie puns, which is the worst of all the movies.
It's awful. It's yeah, no, in fairness, of all the alphabet movies.
It's not the worst of all the movies. Charlie's Angels remake, that's worse.
Wait, which one's... I mean, there's Indiana Jones Crystal Skull.
No, actually worse than that.
Oh wait, no, the Stonehenge Apocalypse. Very, very bad.
Oh, no,
see, Stonehenge is a volcano.
Wonderful because it's terrible. That's like a Sharknado. It's good for its bad.
Oh yeah.
Charlie's Angels remake is up there with the worst things I've ever seen in my life. And I've seen someone whose hip got dislocated, and when the paramedic popped it back in, they caught a testicle.
Oh, sweet Jesus! Why would you say that? Why would you make me think about that? That is horrifying.
If you have to ask a question why of that, you don't know me well enough.
Unfortunately, you're very right. And as dangerous as trapping a testicle inside a dislocated hip is, Muramana Twitch, also equally lethal. We're back on the game stand. I'm sorry, I had to use it as a segue.
You just desperately want to get out of that one.
Yes!
Right now, I think 7DSS want to get out of this situation because they are walking into a CC nightmare and they're in all sorts of trouble with the Cloud Soul on the line. Nutter is going in for the engage. It's so tanky with the Stone Plate. It's surviving for so long. We do see the last chapter thrown down as we see the Death Realm put onto the Golden Boy Amumu. Sean manages to find his first kill of the game onto Wakata Chewy, but there goes Arbush managing to find the multi-man knockup. Viking takes the kill onto the opposing ADC. Rock finds a kill onto Stronger, but the damage still coming out of Arbush, still coming out of Viking, who's throwing out feathers from across the wall. The pullback not quite enough to finish off yourself. Double kill for the Cassiopeia, who's still alive, still full health, has got a Yuumi for company as well, and is chasing out the opposition. This may well be an opportunity to secure another dragon.
The targets were far too split from Deja Vu, but well capitalized from Seven Deadly Sins Senior to make sure they could survive through to the next Yuumi Hill, survive through to the next round of abilities, much like many of the games in this series, and come out with the 3 for 2 when that wombo was looking very dangerous.
Game 1 ended up being more than 40 minutes long and eventually went the way of 7DSS. Game number 2 went to Deja Vu in round about 32, 33 minutes. At the moment, this game is looking like it's going to go possibly as long as the first with the way that things have been stalled out. In the end, nobody took that 5th dragon, so the soul point still available right there, right on your screen for Deja Vu. They've got a little bit of vision around it. They will know if it gets started up. They'll have the potential to steal. Z-Man Jr. does have the smite available.
Okay, does have the smite available. Let's go have a check-in on what isn't available. There is the Twitch ultimate just now. No Death Realm, and importantly, no Feather Storm from the Xayah. It's going to have to come down to a steal, and it's not stolen.
Nope, nothing happening this time. Again, 2 consecutive dragons picked up by 7DSS. They did 4 last time round to secure themselves an Infernal Soul. Can they do the same again to get Cloud this time? That would be a hell of a lot of ultimate cooldown if they got it.
Absolutely would be. I mean, it would be, well, yes, if they were to get 40% ultimate cooldown reduction, it means that Twitch is just a permanent assassin. He just props Q, and he has his ult available every single time he goes for an assassination attempt.
Speaking of Twitch ult, what's better name, Rat-a-tat or Spray and Pray?
Spray and Pray. Spray and Pray is it just rolls off the tongue. I like saying Rat-a-tat-tat.
Spray and Pray because it's the Pope with a Super Soaker, right?
I'm sorry. Oh... Okay.
I would love to say that was my joke, but that's a Falcon Shielder.
Yeah.
Great line.
Oh, man. What a great artist, too. Hadn't thought about him for a while. Got a new song coming out soon, by the way.
Oh, I'll look
yeah, the one about Morgan? Maybe it's Zyra. Anyway, got one about a champion coming up.
Have you seen the changes to the lore with Leona and Diana?
I haven't seen the change to the lore, but I did see the cinematic come out.
Yeah, well, the cinematic, I mean, essentially plays off in a completely different way to how the lore was previously, so it gives you a bit of a clue towards it. But
yeah.
No,
are they still sisters? Are they not? Are they?
No, it's the short version.
Cool.
No, I think it's pretty good. We are now seeing teams going down towards the Baron with the dragon no longer being available. We're seeing the teams fighting out for this vision. This is where the Baron dance becomes so crucial. The last couple of fights have been really, really tense, really tight, with neither team coming out the clear winner for me.
But the real problem is now that if you're pushing up around this other area of the map, which you haven't prepped as well, and I mean, there's now some vision down there, if Twitch finds an angle into a fight with 3 items and flash available, he deletes the entirety of the Deja Vu.
That's very, very true. If Sean has just one great fight, like he had so many on Ezreal in game number 1, that could be big. We do see the charm connecting, as does the knockup onto Ignitar. Again, that's a very, very tanky Sejuani getting to the safety of Cassiopeia, waiting in the wings. Meanwhile, Mordekaiser clears out the wave down the bottom half of the map, comes towards his team, anticipating a potential 5v5.
And right now, the long-range initiation from Deja Vu is coming in.
They're going aggressive onto Ignitar again, but I'm not sure that's the target you want. As we see, the root is going to connect onto the Malphite. He gets obliterated by Sean Houston, who is untouched on the Twitch. Viking trying to flash away, trying to Featherstorm, unable to live. Sean Houston with the Yuumi on his back, surviving through the Ignite until the very last second. Wakata Chewy gets the kill, but he's the last surviving member, apart from the Amumu, who has run in completely the opposite direction. Wakata Chewy trying the fancy feet, trying to do what he can, trying to dodge away from Twin Fangs and failing. Baron is now the next item on the menu for this team, which has done so very well. 7DSS looking as good as they did in game 1.
And the big moment there was Arbush did not manage to get a good ultimate. He is frozen in place and just cut down where he stood. The backline of 7 Deadly Sins survived throughout the majority of the fight. A late charm does bring down the Twitch, but it's far too late, and it does mean the damage is already done.
Z-Man Jr. has been spotted out by Vision for here. His best chance is to potentially execute, but I can't see that happening. Instead, he's just going to give over a free kill to yourself, who finds little mummy boy, who's sad with not a friend to listen to, and now he is wailing in, well, the fountain, I guess.
In the, unfortunately, well, not the Death Realm, because, I mean, what day?
I know, that's where I was going to go, and then obviously Death Realm.
I was like, oh, yeah, the grey screen. Yeah. Yeah, I think one thing we're seeing more and more of is that Yuumi, even though she's been nerfed so much, is doing so much damage in the not damage, so much healing, so much work in these team fights. I mean, we saw that very, very close to Twitch, surviving throughout the entirety of that fight, was life-stealing towards the end of it, trying to hit minions, only went down to the very last tick of the night. If you don't nuke the person which Yuumi is on right at the start of it, they just heal right back up to full. Now there's an Executioner's calling, and if you do fight front to back and you fight hitting the same target, that will be important. The feathers will apply to everyone they hit. That's nice, and it does mean that, I'm going to throw it out there, that Morello, it's really nice and all, but I think Leandries is I think you might need Leandries here. Just try and let Zaya do the anti-heal.
So we've got ourselves another dragon spawning very, very soon. Reset coming in from the Baron empowered teams. Will they be able to get themselves to Dragon Town? I think the answer is quite
yeah, it's 40 seconds.
Yes, to those enhanced recalls. Just as we wait for this next fight that is a brewing, let me ask you the question: what's the best insult you've ever had directed your way in a league game?
Maybe you should carry around a plant with you to replace all the oxygen you waste.
Jeez.
I was talking about this literally yesterday. It's very fresh on the mind.
My personal favourite for myself was it was in an Amumu game where I died a hell of a lot, and someone just typed in name from Grey Hearts or Grey Streak.
Oh, a big fight coming in. Look, vision control. Malphite's looking.
Screen could be coming in from Nutar, but yet again, he's tanky. Look at the health he gets from the stone plate. Meanwhile, the rest of his team doing work. Z-Man Jr. zoning with the Curse of the Sad Mummies. Connect on the multiple targets. That's the ultimate Malphite did last time, and Sean Houston is dead, and Zaya is alive, trying to rip health out of as many people as possible. Viking winning the big fight against the Cassiopeia, eventually succumbing. Meanwhile, look at Nutar. He started the fight by tanking with his face, and now he's ramming his face headfirst into every target that he can find. He finds himself the double kill. It's going to be a third straight Cloud Dragon going over to 7DSS.
We thought that maybe killing the carries is the way you deal with 7 Deadly Sins team comp. They did that. Checklist. Nice. Well done. Yeah, but then turns out Yumi was still alive, and the damage from Mordekaiser and apparently Sejuani is enough to finish off the broken and bleeding health bars and members of Deja Vu.
5-1-13. Game 1 and 2 might have been about top laners. Maybe they're about somebody else as well, but I can only remember the Shen. What I see now is a Sejuani that is owning every fight. It is taking blow after blow after blow, eating up every single one of them, and between the help of the Yumi and the rest of his team, coming out stronger than ever before.
And this is one of the issues with Cassiopeia versus not Cassiopeia in the mid lane. Particularly Ahri as well. Doesn't deal well with tanks. If you build something like Leandries, which is a very good item on Glacial Ahri, instead of the Morellonomicon, maybe you can hold that Sejuani to account. Not the highest amount of MR right now outside of that stone plate. Either way, it's not coming through. Sejuani pops the stone plate and is unkillable for the majority of that fight. Well, the entirety of that fight in that case. And the damage just doesn't register. We see Viking getting separated, 1v1ing Rock on the side, dies to the poison at the very end of it. Good job on getting that into 1v1, but Viking needs to live to kill the tanks.
37 minutes on the clock, and not a single tap has been put on to one of the inhibitor turrets in this game. Multiple inner turrets still remain in the ring. This is an absolutely absurd game of League of Legends, and one deserving of rounding out what has been a fantastic best of 3 series between these two top-of-the-table teams. With the gold lead now extended to 6,000, with the Twitch starting to come online, and the Cassiopeia running the 7-2-3 in scoreline, with the Sejuani looking great at 5-1-13. Deja Vu are in trouble. They've got to make a play work, but as someone just said on Twitch chat, it seems their only player is a Death Brush, and unlike the Zaya that face-checked earlier on from Viking, the only one face-checking right now is Nutar.
It is, and if he face-checks, he don't die. He got himself too many items now, and another real bigger point, which will come, well, we'll see it later on, is that Zaya's ultimate is on about 100-second cooldown right now. So Twitch, that's on like a 60-second cooldown. You have a 40-second disconnect. If Twitch ever forces anything out of this Zaya, there will be such a window of time where you can't walk up onto the map.
Yeah, this is going to be just vision completely controlled in the blue side jungle of Deja Vu, as 7 Deadly Sins just step in, find everything that they want to, and put all sorts of trouble into Deja Vu's path, because now they're going to have to come and start checking this Baron blind.
Will do, and we were talking about how, hey, that last fight, I was saying, wow, look at this, vision control, Malphite stood up. It didn't really matter. They had a 4-man Malphite, it just didn't matter. It made it close. Didn't win it for them, and that the problem is, when a 4-man Malphite ult makes it close, but doesn't win it for you, what is left? What is left? You have to get miracle picks. Get that out Death Bush. Sure, cool, go for it. But is there ever going to be a point where this team, which works so well around a 5v5, wants to split up now?
I'm kind of waiting for Z-Man Jr. to get enough gold to be able to complete this stone plate to maybe have anywhere near the level of survivability that Ignitar has. It just doesn't seem to be happening anytime soon. Meanwhile, this is again a potential cash, but again, it's just Ignitar hangs up with his face and doesn't care. Starts the re-engage, dashes head first into trouble. Starts the fight as we yet again see a fantastic Yumi ult catching stuns onto onto 3. Viking is going to use the Feather Storm, but is going to get absolutely eviscerated on the back of it. Double kill coming in from Sean, who's made to look good with the triple kill. That is the Yumi just boosting Sean for days as he looks towards potentially even getting a penta. Sean needs some speedy zoomies. Give him what he wants.
What he wants is to take the Baron. Another decisive team fight when the last one was close. This one was anything but. He's already back to full HP. He'll be auto-attacking a couple of times to get himself back up to more HP, and the Baron will be coming with him.
In fact, before the previous game of this series, I had never dropped an F-bomb on any cast ever.
Well, I'm glad to take you first this time.
And I'll tell you, the closest I've ever come to doing it is by trying to explain just how damn much I hate Yumi.
It's either that or Pike and ARAM. It was going to be one of the two. And this Yumi, 0017, is just so hard to deal with. Has a Shurelia's now? You know, we were talking about move speed earlier into the game. Maybe how Cloud Soul and Glacial are really, really important. Shurelia's makes that a bit more redundant now. You have Zoomies, you have the Shurelia's. You're probably going to get yourself Cloud Soul if these fights go the same way. I like that itemization quite a lot.
Yeah, and at this point, I mean, Yumi is essentially, you know, more than 2 times better than James Bond.
Yes.
0017, I mean, jeez.
It's a hell of a KDA. It is one hell of a KDA. And you can say, hey, I mean, got a very good, strong tank line. The UB gets to hide behind that, but these ults have been game-changing, fight-changing at the very least.
I feel like at least this time Deja Vu knows something's up. They try to check with Z-Man Jr.'s bandage toss, but they don't connect, and now they're opting into the fight. Ari's on the backside, trying to find a catch, but Sean has absolutely eviscerated the enemy, taking down 2 as Cassiopeia picks up 1. 8 kills apiece for those 2 carries, as Rock looks to find yet more. It's going to be the Sejuani who just dives over the wall. Dragon is secured, as is Cloud Soul, for the 2nd time today. 4 consecutive dragons for 7 DSS. How do they do it? They love the late game. They're 41 minutes in, and yet again, they are now in a position to step towards the inhibitor turrets, to step towards the base, and to end this game.
There's full items on the Twitch, almost full items on a number of other champions. And speaking of champions, only the one left alive for Deja Vu. I'm pretty sure Viking doesn't have what it takes to wave clear against this.
That's going to be Inhibitor dropping. The push is going to continue. Rock throwing down the miasma. Teleport coming in. That's going to be Mordekaiser. Join the rest of the team to pad out the stats. Trying to get yet more kills. Viking trying to do what he can, but just unable to rip through Bristle's hide as the Nexus falls and the game ends just prior to 42 minutes. It's going to be 7DSS who go 3-0 at the top of Division 1.
They do, and they do it in that 3rd game at least with certainty. They out-team 4. You could see in the 2nd game, maybe the draft worked against them, but I do want to give some credit over to Deja Vu. They made it an interesting series. They made it fun to cast. They gave us some big plays. It wasn't enough today, and a lot of it was through the wonderful team fighting, of course, out of 7 Deadly Sins as well.
Indeed it was. And coming into that particular game, who was your MVP for Game 3?
For Game 3 at Signatar, that Sejuani was way more than Deja Vu could handle. Just being that perfect front line, only died the once, and that's very telling when everything comes down to the team fights and your main tank only dies that one time. Probably means you're doing an okay job.
And who is your MVP for the entire series?
For the entire series? Oof. That's a very good question. That is a very good question.
I mean, I'd quite like a very good answer if you could provide it any time in the next line, 3 hours.
3 hours? Oh, well, at least I maybe can go get myself a drink. I am going to give it over to... Wait, wasn't this Game 2? This is the problem. In Game 2, I kind of want to add in something from that too. Because I think in Game 1, yourself was obviously our MVP. Did very, very well. Had a bit more of a muted Game 2 on the Cloud, but Game 3 kind of pulled it back again on Mordekaiser. I think I'm going to give it over to Sean Houston. I think he played a very good teamfight AD carry. I think that the Ezreal was hard, bereft of that MVP in Game 1 in a lot of ways too. And this Twitch ended up being such a force to be reckoned with in Game 3.
Fair enough. It's been a great series to cast. Great to get involved with the Lamps League. So thank you to everyone out there for having me. Hope I have been just about bearable. And to those of you who I wasn't bearable for,
I don't know if we've got ourselves an interview. I don't know if we're going to have an interview at the end of this. So I guess we'll wait for production to have a chat about that. Just might need to hang around for a minute or two. But yeah, it's been real good fun having you on here. First time casting with actually my first time casting VL without Sam. Thinking about it.
So that must have been quite nice for you, really.
It's okay. Nice to get a little bit of variety.
All jokes aside, he's been doing some fantastic work, and look forward to hearing more out of both of you soon. That is going to be the end for us tonight. Thank you so much to everyone who has been joining us, to the two teams who have competed brilliantly, and to the other streams been going side by side here. That was an interesting series as well. Thank you to you, Alex, and to production for putting this together. And most importantly, remember to tune in next time for the Lance League. But for now, from Stanley Greyheart Barker, from Alex Naimera Hapgood.
Good night.
Good night.